treat. It's a creepy, crawly night. Nothing crawling on this track. You have to run fast, especially knowing the Truck Series monsters and maniacs, ghosts and goblins, including us, are chasing you down. Chasing down another championship, but he's also chasing Johnny Benson. JB is ahead for now, but with 3 to go, plenty of goblins still lurking. The moon is out, hovering over the Texas Motor Speedway. It's an evening made for things that go bump in the night, and nothing bumps and beats and bangs like the Truck Series. Hold on to your jack-o'-lanterns. You are about to be spooked. You are also about to be set up. Pretties, and welcome to this Truck Series Halloween edition of the setup. Krista couldn't be here. I, the Wicked Witch of the West, have taken her place. All of my Wizard of Oz characters will be joining me. And who says we don't have fun in the Truck Series? I mean, come on. If you ever doubted it, we will make you believers here tonight. Before we have a lot of fun, though, let's get you caught up on what's been happening since you've been gone. Starting with tonight's front row, Rick Crawford back on the pole for the first time in 3 years. His 5th career Truck Series pole. Crawford from Mobile, Alabama. So is the guy starting alongside. Cale Gale will start on the outside of row 1. Now, it's already been a tough Texas trip for Matt Crafton. Crafton having a little bit of a practice incident, hitting a piece of debris. They had to go to a backup truck. So that's a trick. And no treats for another team also. The 51 of Billy Ballou Motorsports. Their hauler actually catching on fire on the drive here to Texas. There you see a burnt pit box. The fire happened in Shreveport. Now, a lot of people think it was a wheel bearing. That's what Billy Ballou said. They thought it was what caused the fire. There you see some of the damage. They were able to get the truck that Kyle Busch is running tonight ready, though. As we said, Billy Ballou said it was a wheel bearing that caused the fire. I say, hey, I have a broom that causes fireballs. Maybe I caused the fire. I don't know. And if you've been under a rock, or like the Wicked Witch of the East, my sister, under a house for the last few months, well, you may not know, this is the best championship battle in all of NASCAR. And we had another chapter last week in Atlanta, a new driver trying to spoil some of the fun. Here's a look back.
What a great points battle we've got going in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So this points battle is really tight on every lap. Not okay for Johnny Benson. He believes that something is very seriously wrong with the 23.
88 slowed down. This guy was lurking in that 3rd spot in the points, but now he's got some serious issues.
They have taken this 88 truck and pulled it behind the wall, checking everything they can under the hood.
Johnny has said this truck has absolutely been a mess, but what an unbelievable comeback as Benson now inside the top 10.
A great run for Ron Hornaday as they come to the start-finish line. Hornaday's in the lead. The momentum will carry forward. Ryan Newman back in front.
He needed that corner, and he got it. He's going to win this race.
Ryan Newman making his first ever Craftsman Truck Series start, and he will win at Atlanta.
We're here to race, and when you got a shot at the win, if you can sleep at night doing that, then you're not a racer.
31 points is the difference between Hornaday and Benson.
It was 15-point difference between first and second, and that point lead would be 16 points right now, not 31. And that could loom large when we get to Homestead.
You heard the guy say 31 points. That is the difference between 1 and 2. Some positions changing here on this list. And note, Chad McCumbee back in the top 10. Well, this is the part of the show where I need to invite in some of my friends. And no matter how many times he clicks his ruby red slippers together, well, there is one thing for certain. We are definitely not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, Krista, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. We know there's no place like home because there's 3 races to go before we get to go home. First, we have to race Texas, then Phoenix, then Homestead. And I know you've never seen a Dorothy with a mustache, but what the heck? Let's talk about Johnny Benson and his crew. They brought the same truck with them this week here to Texas they had last week at Atlanta. That gave them a lot of problems. So will they have problems tonight? Well, we don't know, but the last 2 times that we've raced here, Johnny Benson has finished second. And what does he have to do to win? Well, he has to follow the black pit road. Follow the black pit road. Follow the Okay, enough of that. But here's the deal. I want to get it over to my other good friend, who is Glinda, the Good Witch.
And as we all know, Ray, I am all about bringing good luck, and I will do that tonight for my friend Ron Hornaday, starting 7th in this race. He won here at Texas in the spring, so he knows his way to victory lane. He's only 31 points behind your boy Benson, and later on this setup show, I will anoint him with my wand and wish him the best of luck as he tries to come from behind and win his 2nd consecutive championship. And it's so hard for me to do, but now I must throw it back over to that nasty, wicked witch of the West. Krista?
Everyone thinks Glinda is the Good Witch. You know, if you guys thought I looked silly, I don't even know what to say after that. But I'm sure after Johnny and Ron see those two, they will have plenty to say, and you can read all about it. Their online diaries. Log on to speedtv.com to find out what they have to say. And you just saw Dorothy, Ray, Glinda the Good Witch, Adam, myself, the Wicked Witch of the West. We're down here having fun, being silly, but I know the guys upstairs, they are the mature, maybe not. I can't even believe. Rick, you're not talking. Why not?
Thank you, Scarecrow. Well, Wicked Witch, we are going to talk a little bit about racing here. First off, I would like to, well, let me preface this. This is probably the wrong person to ask, but who do you think will win the race tonight?
We're in Texas, right?
Yes.
A.J. Foyt. Well, no, wait a minute. Wait, he's not here. Wait a minute. We've got, who are those guys? That Hornaday guy.
Yes.
And that Benson guy.
Yes, one of those will win.
Maybe one of those guys. So I'm going to pick Travis Kvapil.
I don't have the courage to tell him, but he's wrong. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Put him up. I'll fight you both at one time. I'll fight you with one paw tied behind my back. I'll fight you. I don't care. Who put the bagel in Winnebago? Who put... Courage?
Courage.
Who throws the flag off the stand?
Kim Lopez.
I started to say mature, seasoned leaders, but as you can see, our fun here in the Truck Series, well, it goes all the way up top. I'm glad you guys are up there, too, or I would take my broom and turn you into flying little monkeys. Now, this is the part of the show where we would normally tell you all to stay tuned, but you just saw 5 grown men in costume on national television. I'm pretty sure you're not going anywhere because you just don't know what we have in store coming up on the setup. And, of course, the track, Texas Motor Speedway, getting involved, too. It's Truck or Treat. Lots of little kids dressed up, getting their Halloween candy. Lots of adults dressed up as well. Oh, that one's spooky. Hey, we're just getting started. All the Truck Series, Texas Motor Speedway Halloween fun is just getting started.
Setup. David Starr heads back to Texas after Hurricane Ike ripped through his hometown of Houston.
Kind of feel guilty that you're out there racing when your friends and relatives are having to deal with a big storm like Ike coming through.
Make sure your pumpkins are carved and your sweet tooth is ready. It's trick-or-treating, Truck Series style, when the setup returns from Texas, only on Speed.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series setup is brought to you by Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears.
We aren't the only ones getting in on the Halloween fun. The Texas Motor Speedway calling today Truck or Treat. The trucks will be on the track, but all the little ones getting in on their costumes and doing a little trick-or-treating here at the Texas Motor Speedway. How about that? Trick-or-treating at a 1.5 mile oval. Eddie Gossage and the guys here at Texas Motor Speedway, they always go top-notch. And if you are just tuning in, welcome back to the setup. Yes, things are a little different. My nose is a little bigger, my face a little greener. Wizard of Oz has taken over here on the Truck Series setup. That's because we're having fun. We always have fun. And one of those having fun is our Dorothy Dunlap, standing by with one of the faces of the Truck Series.
And it's so nice to have a helper, Johnny Benson, holding my little Toto there. And we're not in Kansas anymore, but 3 races to go in a championship chase. Tell me about your thoughts on Texas.
I tell you, I love Texas. It's fun to race here. It's a lot of fun. We got to make up some ground, though. We're starting back a little bit, but Drew Bruce and the guys give me a great truck to race with. And this place is always fun at night. A lot of sparks flying. And as long as we, get in a couple of spots on a truck, or in the track where we need to be with the truck, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. So, you know, Dorothy, I'm looking forward to having a good race, and maybe you bring Toto into victory lane. It'd be awesome.
It could be a good luck charm. I don't know. His season so far has been a little bit like a Kansas tornado.
And there is little doubt, Dorothy, this guy knows about winning championships, and as a guy that's been on top, Ron Hornaday, are you getting ready for a kiss here or what? How would you rate this?
I'm embarrassed to have VFW standing by you. Your lipstick is...
You got to feel confident. What do you feel about tonight's race, Ron?
Dude, you got me speechless. I cannot believe you wear that out in public. Does your mom and dad know you wear stuff like that outside? No, we're real confident. This is the truck we won the last time with, but we got VFW on the side, and I got to thank Camping World and everybody who's been supporting us. So I don't know if we do any more races like this Halloween stuff. You guys are really killing me.
You know what? Glenda likes to spread the good news, so good luck for Hornaday tonight. Back to the Bad Witch. Krista?
I'm still speechless, and I don't think Adam's worried about his mom and dad watching. I'm worried about Kyla and Kate, his little kids, watching Daddy dressed up as Glenda. But if we left Ron Hornaday speechless, I think we've definitely done our job. You know, I love Texas, too, because it's fast out there. It's as fast as me on my broom, my little pretty. Of course, the guys always fast, and they certainly were last year. It was an unbelievable race. Let's take a look back at Texas 1 year ago.
Boy, don't you know the nerves that Chad McCumbee has right now? He might be sitting there thinking, yeah, bring it on, boys. I got you. We're going to see maybe the two biggest laps of his entire life.
Here it goes. Wins the tires as they come in. He will get turned by Jack Springer. Right in front of the field they go. The wreck will happen once again, and that will be it. Look at the damage to this number 8 Chevy.
I looked back straight, and I got jacked up there. So, you know, I mean, everybody's trying to win the race, and very disappointed.
Ted Musgrave.
That's your winner right there.
Come out of this in front, and he will end up the winner.
You've been around the sport long enough, you know what's going to happen, how people drive. So I just kind of kept my head up and my nose clean, and I knew something was going to happen.
That was a freakish race. The freaks, of course, out here on Halloween night, and I guess that's the perfect way to toss down to Dorothy.
I don't know what the aversion is down here, but the Wizard says that the pole sitter is going to have a good night in Texas, Rick Crawford.
I appreciate the Wizard saying that. It's quite a night here in Texas. I really appreciate the Ford Power Stroke diesel team, and had a good lap last night to sit on the pole here. You know, October is Ford Truck Month. This is probably one of the biggest regions of Ford trucks in Texas, and the biggest user of the Ford Power Stroke diesel. How about the news we got this morning? Bill Ford. So 1,000 workers come back to the plants in Dearborn this morning to build a 2009 Ford pickup. So great news around the country, and hope we have good news here tonight.
How about you go win them a race? That's Rick Crawford, and it is an all-front row Mobile, Alabama group.
I have never felt more pretty than I do right now, and you look pretty good when it comes to this racetrack. Todd Bodine starting 10th tonight. Your thoughts on what it takes for your 5th win at Texas, Todd?
Well, you know, it takes everything. You got to have a great handling truck. You got to have good pit stops, good strategy. Track position is really, really key. Boy, I'm never going to look at you the same again, dude. Let me tell you. Track position's key. I mean, you got to have everything go right here to get it to victory lane.
Todd Bodine speechless, and perhaps he'll leave the field speechless when this thing is over.
I love the good witches.
Were they just hugging? Was there hugging? I don't like happiness here. It's the Wizard of Oz Truck Series setup here at Texas Motor Speedway. And I don't know if we can get any crazier, any sillier, but just for you, we are certainly going to try. So go ahead, unwrap another piece of candy. We've got more Halloween night, the Truck Series setup here on Speed. Come back if you dare.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series setup is brought to you by Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears.
David Starr is always a star when he comes to Texas. Recently, he teamed up with his new sponsor, Zachary. Their office is located in San Antonio. They're a Texas company, too. David taking part, meeting some employees, signing some autographs, and getting to know his new company. Welcome back. Truck Series setup has gone to the Wizard. The Wizard of Oz, that is, here at our big track.
That David Starr, he's so pretty. I would love to just get him and his little dog, too. There's David Starr. Oh, he's so pretty. I would just get him with my broom. See, we've really this show has just totally gone a whole different direction, but we hope you're having fun. David Starr recently had some fun with his company when he helped out some people down in the Galveston area, folks recently affected by some disastrous weather. David and Zachary going down to help those folks out. Here's a look.
Here comes David Starr out of turn 4. And Starr will win at Las Vegas.
Good job, baby. Good job. Good job.
Emotion, heart, and fire are just some of the qualities that describe David Starr. Since 1998, this Houston native has been one of the most passionate drivers in the Truck Series.
This is my old neighborhood. This is called Northline Terrace, the Aldine area. Went to high school right down the road, junior high and elementary school all around in this area. This is pretty much where I grew up at. Our street's pretty nice still, but the neighborhood kind of went downhill. My career, the way it was growing up, I didn't have the money they have today, but we had a lot of heart. Not bad at all, son. Yeah, pretty cool. And you can hear the freeway in the back of the cars going back. My dad started his business on the driveway, and what we did, we keep all the cars out here in the lot out here in the street. Ever since I can remember as a little boy, I used to go to the race shop with him and go to the racetrack with him.
He used to call through the cars, and he used to go to the racetrack too when he was little. He used to sit up in the stands and watch the races.
And he knew most of the race drivers. Everybody knew David, too, when he was little.
Growing up in Texas, when you get older, you always take a little bit of pride in being a Texan, and being from Houston always meant a lot to me. A lot of race cars in these shops, and I fixed a lot of cars, earned a lot of money here. So, yeah, this place has a lot of meaning to me because they could help me race, and I could come here and work for a week, and then I'd go on the road and race for a month, come back broke, didn't have no money, come back to work here for my parents. So this place has a lot of special meaning to me.
As the sun came up in Loudon, Starr's thoughts drift down to Texas. The hurricane over Houston weighed heavy on David's mind.
On our way to New Hampshire, everybody was watching the TVs and staying tuned to the news. And, being from Houston and from the Galveston area, we were traveling to Loudon, New Hampshire to race. And, man, there was a big hurricane brewing up in the Gulf of Mexico. And the width of the hurricane, and it seemed like it covered the whole Gulf of Mexico.
We were undecided whether to stay home or go to Dallas. And our power went out Friday night. So that's the worst thing that happened to us was not having power for 12 days.
Going into Loudon to go somewhere and race and do something you love to do, and then you think about your family and your friends.
David was always worried about us.
You almost kind of feel guilty that you're out there racing, so it was kind of a very emotional type of weekend.
Issues going on down on pit road right now.
After the race, the eye of the storm moved to Loudon as emotions got the better of two teams.
What happened since the race?
Well, it's just called the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tough trucks, tough drivers, and a tough series. That's all I got to say about it.
Houston is still home for the Starr family, and this Lone Star driver still longs for a victory at Texas.
It means a lot because in your racing career, you have so many people that help you. Junkyards give me parts, and people give me a little bit of money, and other people that let me drive their race cars, and most of them are here in the Houston area.
It would mean
a whole lot to him.
It would mean a lot to him.
And the only really way to pay him back is to win.
And if that wicked witch could look into her crystal ball, she may have seen a report on the internet this week that said David Starr is out of the 11. I'm here to tell you that is incorrect. And David, you are going to tell us about your new sponsor and how excited you are about having a chance to win in your home track in Texas.
Man, I tell you what, our Zachary Toyota Tundra was pretty awesome in practice. It didn't qualify real well. We held it wide open. It drove good. It was what it was. But hey, the folks in San Antonio, Zachary, they got over 25,000 employees. It's an engineering construction company. We're so fortunate to have them on board through the rest of the year, and hopefully they like what they see and like everything about the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and they'll come back to Red Horse Racing in 2009. So we're excited about the race tonight, and definitely excited to have Zachary on board with us.
All right, and Toto wants to give you a little good luck charm here real quickly. We've got a little piece of candy for you. So good luck tonight. That is David Starr. Now let's go back to Glenda.
Max Papa's no stranger to success in NASCAR. Multiple starts in the Nationwide Series and the Sprint Cup Series, but never in a truck. I've got a great greeting for you into the Truck Series, and you had a great qualifying run here yesterday in your first ever effort, starting 5th. What do you think?
First of all, it's kind of difficult to be serious when you have a guy dressed up like a lady, but I tried to do my best. You know, it was awesome driving a Geico truck yesterday. Qualified 5th for my first ever truck race. It's a dream. So I'm around big guys, and they told me that you need to show your elbow. I'm going to kind of try to do that through the race, but I want to run every lap. I want to learn as much as I can. And the Germain guys gave me a great truck. The Hillmans, you know, they're great people working with, and we have a great task tonight, but we have a greater task ahead of us next year with 18 Cup races with a Geico.
Great to see Max in the truck starting 5th tonight, Krista.
And Max is wondering, what kind of world have I just walked into? That's Adam Glenda's second kiss of the night. I'm so jealous. And yes, Ray Dorothy was right. I looked into my crystal ball, and I did see something. I said, I'm coming after those ruby red slippers. I'll get you, my pretty, and we'll be back to Texas right after this.
Benson is making a late charge. Hornaday turns the wick up one more time. Bodine to the outside. Bodine to the lead. Eric Darnell on his Ford F-150 leading the way. Here's Skinner right up against his tailgate.
Plenty more racing to come, but for us, the highlight is the truck race. The Wizard says it's going to be the best race of the weekend. It'll be so fast, you will swear you've seen a ghost. And I don't know what you're seeing here, but I've got Glenda, and I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. And we have to, of course, thank the boys upstairs, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Lion. We've got to thank Bill Bush and Sean Fitzpatrick from Fitzy's Snowman Sculptures for our pumpkins. What do you guys say? Are you ready to go racing?
Gotta love Texas. You gotta love Texas.
Absolutely. Happy Halloween. What a production.
Halloween. The Chevy Silverado 350K on speed starts now.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from a slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. Wah, wah, wah. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on.
Welcome and happy Halloween. It's Texas Motor Speedway, race number 23 of the 2008 season. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Chevy Silverado 350K on speed. A gorgeous evening, or a ghoulish evening, as Krista was saying earlier, for racing tonight. 73 degrees, a clear skies, which mean, well, we can see that ominous moon that is in the clouds tonight. Let's take a look at our point standings. It has been a phenomenal battle getting up to this point. Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday, just 31 points separating those two. It has become a two-man race. No matter what my friends up here would like to say, Ron Hornaday and Johnny Benson are going to battle it out all the way to Homestead. Hello, everyone. Rick Allen, Bill Parsons, and Michael Waltrip. And thank you so much for having fun with us in that first setup segment. We had a great time. Now, let's talk a little bit about Texas. And I know earlier I asked you who you thought was going to win, and we had some fun with that. But now, what do you think, coming down to the final three races of the season, we've got Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday?
Well, this racetrack here at Texas is so different than last week at Atlanta. Last week at Atlanta, the tires probably gave up 2 seconds. This racetrack here is wide open. These guys, from large majority of the race will be flat on the floor running around here. Ron Hornaday was very, very good in practice. He knows he needs to cut in that lead of Johnny Benson, and he may do it here. He is so good. But his teammate is also very good, too. Cale Gale never saw the racetrack before he got here yesterday and was very, very quick starting on the front row.
Well, you know, if I'm Ron Hornaday, I'm thinking this championship's mine to go get. I'm faster than Johnny Benson. But last week, just think about what Johnny Benson accomplished. He had a slow truck. He couldn't go anywhere, but he fought all race long, all the way to the checkered flag. Finished 7th, only lost 30-some points to Ron Hornaday. So he said, you think this championship is yours to win, Ron, but you're going to have to fight me to win it. And I love that about this series. These guys are going to go right down to the end battling for this championship just like last year.
Now, Michael, you just came off the racetrack. You had qualifying earlier. Obviously, are we going to see multiple grooves here?
All over the place, Rick. Not like last week, but a whole lot like last week. It's going to be fun to watch.
Multiple grooves. Let's continue on with our three-race show. Let's go back trackside for Invocation.
As the United States Army 2nd Battalion, 354th Artillery, 95th Division Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Texas Motor Speedway track chaplain, Father Jay Atwood, offers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal God, Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. We give you thanks for the freedoms we celebrate in this country and for the men and women who defend those freedoms. We give you thanks for the sponsors, the teams, the crews and their drivers, the officials, and we ask for your safety, protection, and blessing upon all of them this night, that they may do the best of their ability to your honor and glory. This we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
And now please welcome from 96.3 KSCS, Rebecca Carroll, as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Three races remain in the 2008 season. Will it be Eric Darnell finding victory lane, or will we have a veteran up front?
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source, and by Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears.
I think one time I was a spaceman. I always wanted to go on outer space, and a couple of hits here at Texas have sent me in outer space, but not with my suit on.
Junior high, everybody dared me to dress up as a girl.
A couple years ago, I was Elvis. Got the sideburns, the hair was crazy. One for the money, two for the show.
One of the kids in my school, his mom was a makeup artist for like the movies and stuff. And so they did like the whole hatchet in the head with the, blood and the guts hanging out of it and stuff. And I was like 7th grade. I thought it was so cool. Sat there for like an hour and a half and she had all this makeup on. It was pretty neat.
I was a headless horseman. We took an old kidney belt and put dowels up to a dress coat. And we cut a hole in the side of the jacket and I stuck my head out and we had the arm around my head. so it looked like I was a headless horseman. I was just really tall. My mom made it. I was probably, I don't know, 10, 12 years old.
As I grew up, I got a little bit more creative. And I actually haven't been able to pull it off yet because of it's very intricate. But what I would love to be for Halloween is a big loofah. You know that thing you use in the shower and just rub up on everyone, try to get them all clean for Halloween. I mean, that for me is the best one I heard yet.
And thank goodness I'm not down on pit road with Scott Speed if he's going to be a loofah. Welcome back to the Chevy Silverado 350K. Let's take a look at our track description here at Texas Motor Speedway. Another mile-and-a-half track, Bill.
Yeah, great racetrack, but so unlike last week at Atlanta. 24-degree banking, fast racetrack. These guys will run fast all night. They were fast in qualifying. They will be faster tonight.
Our Optima Batteries race analysis, 219 miles, 146 laps. That makes 350K, by the way, if you're questioning why it's called the Chevy Silverado 350K. Those numbers make it. Let's get the engines fired up and go down for the command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nashville recording artist Trent Wilmon as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Ron Hornaday continuing to chase Johnny Benson. 31 points separate two drivers in the points championship. Relax and watch some of this, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
You better not be wanting to relax. These guys get it on.
You can sit back and maybe relax for a moment, but that's only as long as it's going to last. One moment before you'll probably be right on the edge of your seat.
You know, Rick, you asked me in the opening, would these guys run high? Would these guys run low? I just finished my cut practice no more than just a couple of hours ago, and cars were already being able to go up in the middle of the track and even a little higher and run faster lap times than they can at the bottom. And I have to tell you, as a race car driver, that's what you want. You want to know that truck, when you get to the corner, if it isn't working on the bottom, you can move it out to the top.
Right. Our starting grid's rolling across the bottom of the screen. Rick Crawford will start out front. It's been since Martinsville of 05 since he has led a field to the green flag. Now we want to shine a spotlight as we have a night race here again at Texas. We're going to shine a spotlight on a few different drivers. Ray Dunlap, let's take a look here at Max Pappas.
I'll tell you what, Rick, they call him Mad Max. And where did that name come from? Well, back in 1996, he was in the 24 Hours of Daytona, and his car was all tore up, and they thought he was done for the day, but he ran back through the field and almost won that race, finishing second by just 16 seconds. Mad Max Pappas has raced all over the world, but he told me earlier today he's never driven anything quite like a NASCAR Craftsman truck. He's looking forward to having some fun tonight in the Geico racetrack. Adam?
Ryan Lawler in the 15 making his 8th truck start of the year, driving for Billy Blue Motorsports in that Ergon Toyota. He said he is happy to be here because he's only 15 minutes from his home, which is Colleyville, Texas. How did this deal come about? Well, Ryan's father, Patrick, drove here for Billy Blue back in 2003. They are hopeful they can put together a part-time or full-time schedule for Ryan in 2009 in that 15 truck. Phil?
Adam, I want to take a look at this 9 truck right here. This is Paul Tracy, and yes, it's the same Paul Tracy that has had so much success in open wheel racing. He was the 2003 Champ Car Series champion. He's only run 2 IndyCar races this year, and one of those he finished 4th at Edmonton. He's a native of Montreal. Bombardier Learjet, one of his sponsors, is a Canadian company, as well as Sport Clips, which is headquartered here in Texas. He will start that Toyota back in the 22nd position and just wants to be somewhere racing regularly next year, Mikey.
What I love about the Truck Series, Phil, we talk about Paul Tracy from Canada. This cat here, Cale Gale, starts on the outside of the front row. He's from Mobile, Alabama, as is the dude starting next to him on the pole. Cale Gale was named after Cale Yarborough. You think he's known ever since he was a little boy what he wanted to do? He starts second. Can he hang there? He sat on the pole in the nationwide race at Bristol this past August and finished 4th. Yes, he can hang in there, and he's got a chance to win the race today.
And amazingly enough, during the first practice, Cale Gale being out on the racetrack was the first time he had ever been on the racetrack here at Texas Motor Speedway.
And was the fastest, by the way.
And was the fastest. We're riding along with a few different drivers. One of those will be David Starr. He will start 24th and carry our Toyota on board.
We're also going to ride along with the 30, the Lumber Liquidators Toyota, the Toyota onboard for Todd Bodine. Todd starts back in the 10th spot. He's won 4 of the last 8 truck races here at Texas.
Terry Cook has been reunited with this team, the Team 8 ASE onboard camera. Look for Terry starting in the back, but watch him. He knows how to run this high line. He knows how to get that truck up toward the front. He'll have a good run tonight in that truck, and we'll follow along with him.
Terry Cook, Rick Crawford, the only two that have started the 21 races that have taken place here at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's go back to Ray Dunlap for thoughts before green.
Well, Rick, whenever we get to the end of the race, a lot of times I'm talking about a statistic that we call green, white, checkered. And tonight, we very well may have another one of those. Why? Because the last 5 times we've run at Texas, there have been green, white, checkers. And when you look at the list of all the drivers that have been involved in those, one name really is going to stand out, and that is Kyle Busch. Folks, he had an extra set of tires ready to go last week at Atlanta, and they didn't get to use them. And on the way here, they had a big fire that almost destroyed this race truck. But Kyle Busch is back in chassis number 11, and he has won 7 times in this truck. And tonight, he very well may win again for his first time at Texas. Adam?
Tonight, Ray, marks the 22nd time the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is raced here at the Texas Motor Speedway. And of those first 21, twice a rookie went to victory lane. The late Kenny Irwin did it in 1997, and in 2001, it was Travis Quapple carrying the rookie colors into victory circle. Who could do it tonight? Well, what about Colin Brown? He's a Texas native, starting 9th. All year long, this guy has been competitive. Could tonight be the night? It couldn't be any more special than to do it right here at his home track, the Texas Motor Speedway.
And that Roush Yates horsepower obviously propelled Rick Crawford to the pole, and Colin Brown has the exact same thing under the hood.
This is a horsepower racetrack. Last week at Atlanta, not necessarily when the tires fell off. Here, you got to have something when you push that foot down.
Yeah, and guys, though, that have shown, whether we're racing on a slippery track or a wide-open foot-to-the-floorboard track, Ron Hornaday, that 2-truck, Ryan Newman last week, Cale Gill this week, they've been dominant. What will be interesting to watch tonight is how Johnny Benson will react to last week. He didn't have a truck to win the race with last week. Ron Hornaday did. Going through these next 3 races, you better be able to win if you want to win this championship.
Yeah, because one or the other is going to finish in the top 5. It seems like every week you've got guys in the top 5.
We saw Johnny Benson miraculously finish 7th, and he still lost 34 points.
But what a great night, a great day that was for Johnny Benson. Yep. They overcame a lot to get a 7th place finish. That's how you win a championship. But the other way to win it, maybe even more effective, is run like Ron Hornaday has lately, and that's lead laps and try to win the race.
Everything is bigger in Texas. How big will it be tonight?
Ready?
We're about to find out.
Green flag, green. Outside lines are moving good.
Kyle Busch pulling the same move we saw in Atlanta. He goes to the inside and takes the lead before turn 1.
You see Rick Crawford, he pushes Cale Gill up the hill a little bit. Cale would have liked to have been down lower as he went through 1 and 2. He had to go up high, but now he's down to the bottom.
I love these guys. Already side by side, 3 wide.
2 and 3 wide down the backstretch. Here comes Ron Hornaday as well.
You better be ready for a race when they throw the green flag if you're driving a truck. These guys are going to be all over you. Kyle Busch to the bottom in turn 1, started 3rd, leading the race.
Kyle Busch leads the first. Cale Gill gets turned around, slides up the racetrack. People are wrecking behind him.
Clear all around, all clear.
The 21 of John Wood is involved. We've got Cale Gill, and there's another truck that moved up in front of Cale Gill that spun around.
How did that happen? They were on the front straightaway.
I believe that might have been the 07 there, Dale, isn't it?
A lot of damage to that 21 Air Force truck right there at John Wood, as well as that 2 truck of Cale Gill.
Heard a report there, the spotters were reporting down to the teams and the drivers. They thought maybe that
Rick Crawford has some damage.
Damage to our pole sitter, Rick Crawford. Smoke coming out of the back. Look at the damage on the left side of that truck. Ray.
And Crawford said, guys, I'm going to have to pit. Left front tire is flat on this truck. Cowboy talking to him on the radio right now. And the nice thing about it is they've got a great big screen right behind the pit, so they're able to get a real first-hand view right off of our video from the race.
Well, you can see some damage to that 14 truck, but you know what's interesting? We heard the spotters. They thought that the 07 had something to do with what started this crash. Now, the 7, what a great run this team's been on. TJ Bell finishing top 10. A
5 in a row.
Really fast truck in practice. Now, look.
Yeah, that ends tonight, it looks like.
Were the spotters talking about the 07 or the 7, or who do they think precipitated this accident?
Also with some damage here. That's Ryan Lawler. Ryan, a local driver.
Boy, doesn't it make that move by Kyle Busch look really strong right now when he jumped to the lead. Obviously, Cale Gale started on the outside of the front row in this big time.
Adam Alexander.
And unfortunately for Cale Gale, that the same truck that Ryan Newman drove to the victory last week, and as you can see, he's not even able to drive it back to the garage. The good news, Cale Gale okay. And you guys were talking about the 07 truck, and perhaps that was who was involved. The word on the radio, it may have been the 09, and you can see Harvick, a smile on his face, but I'm sure on the inside he's highly disappointed giving this youngster a chance, and only a couple of laps before problems, and their night certainly going to end prematurely in the garage.
What I love about the Craftsman Truck Series on Speed, we don't have to speculate who caused this crash. We're going to find out.
We'll just watch.
We'll see who caused it.
Take another look at what happened. Again, this is after the first lap has been completed.
To the 09 of Travis Kvapil, jumps to the inside.
Oh, and then the two moved up to try to give him some room. Just to give him some room, but there was a truck. Rick Crawford was on the outside of him. There wasn't room to move up.
Yeah, then the 30 of Ty Bodine looked like he was in the back of the 7, and he got in the back of the 21, and that's what caused these guys to be involved. But it was a chain reaction deal. No blame on Todd.
Yeah. You know, these guys came across the start-finish line a mile and a half earlier, running 80 miles an hour. 175 or 80 the next time by, and when something goes wrong, it gets big in a hurry.
David Starr does a nice job with his Zachary Toyota to get by this. See Paul Tracy right in front. Let's see if we can take a look at what Todd saw. Remember, this is TJ Bell right in front of him. You see the smoke for a second? Todd's in the back of TJ. He gets in the back.
TJ, he did a perfect job. He kept his truck straight. Todd was in the back of him. The 7 truck stayed straight, but somebody bounced off the wall and collected him.
Watch this move by the Hornet. Hornaday get by on the outside.
Look at the point leader, just driving right around the outside.
Yeah, there's John Wood. He gets turned around by the 7, who was pushed into that by Todd.
You could see the 2 truck came off the wall and caught the 7 of TJ Bell. What a great job by TJ, getting himself a chance to get through the crash, but he couldn't avoid that truck that bounced off the wall.
Came right down and took TJ Bell out of contention for tonight's race. So a difficult start here at Texas Motor Speedway, but our 2 championship contenders unscathed in this first incident. Took place on lap number 2, just as they crossed the start-finish line. What a ride that Team ASC camera had. We'll be right back with more from Texas after this. This Thursday, get hooked on Wrecked. On an all-new episode, a dumpster hangs on the verge of collapse and threatens to take O'Hare down with it. Catch an all-new episode of Wrecked, Thursday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, exclusively on Speed.
That's the big toe show, you know?
The Big Toe Show. Here are the trucks that were involved in our first incident. And again, we just got 1 lap completed.
Yeah, we had a couple more guys that had a chance of being involved in this incident right here.
Well, we talked about Hornaday. Watch Hornaday. They go crashing in front of him. He sneaks through. They wreck in front of him and behind him. As a point leader, you don't want that aggravation, do you, Phil?
Right dead in front of him. You see Cale turn around with the 2 truck. Right dead in front of Hornaday, just slipping by on the outside.
Now, our other point contender, coming off turn 4, watch what he has to go through to get through the crash.
Watch this now. The 16 of Brian Scott and the 60 of Jack Sprague make some contact, and then that is right in front of Johnny Benson.
And Johnny's going, hey, y'all settle down, and then they're saying, no.
Now they're wrecking up here. Watch this now. Watch him get on the brakes hard to avoid running in the back of Jack Sprague, and then he dives for the bottom. Nice heads-up driving by JB.
If you're a driver, check out Todd Bodine. They're working on the front of that truck. But listen to this. If you're the driver, they're calling Johnny on the radio. The spotter saying, wrecking in front of you, Johnny. And he's thinking, I know, I saw them. They almost did wreck. And then they're like, no, a real wreck up ahead in turn 1.
Ray Dunlap.
You can see the work that went on Todd Bodine's truck is continuing here as they try to put a new center section on the nose there. He got that damage by getting into that crash there, and they said aerodynamics were going to be hurt significantly on that Lumber Liquidators Toyota. Now they're telling him be careful to make sure you don't block off all the air coming to the inside of the engine. So the guys continue to work. You saw Mike Hillman Sr., and he is telling those guys exactly what to do. They've got plenty of time as slow as the pace truck is bringing the field around, so they put that new section on the number 30 truck.
So a little bit of nose damage for the 30 of Todd Bodine. Again, he's won at this racetrack 4 times. Will he find victory lane again? You're going to have to stick around and find out. Chevy Silverado 350 coming back.
You know, practice makes perfect, and as I run up and down pit road each and every week, I see a lot of crew members getting ready for that next round of pit stops with Craftsman's 19.2-volt impact driver. Well, that's not what this really is. You see, this is actually the radio-controlled hand center for Craftsman's brand-new remote-controlled truck. And this thing is a load of fun. It runs around almost a whole hour on one single charge. And the great part about it is, inside right here is actually a 19.2-volt battery, just like you would use in your cordless drill. Now, all work and no play makes for Ray a very dull boy, right? Well, not many people will accuse me of all work and no play, but I'm telling you, the holidays are right around the corner, and this could make a great gift for one of your friends.
And welcome back. We see a few trucks making their way onto pit road. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, the 14 truck was on the pole today. Rick Crawford and his guys talking over whether or not they should pit. They decided that this damage right behind the left front wheel was going to be too much of an aero problem. Now, Cowboy Starlin, the crew chief on this truck, is telling these guys, don't pull it too hard. You want to make sure it's not like a parachute, but they're going to put left side tires on the 14 for Crawford and get him back. Adam?
And a really tough start for Rick Crawford as well. This guy, Cale Gale, and you were right in the middle of it there, and I know not the way he anticipated this going. What happened, Cale?
I don't really know what happened. I haven't seen the replay yet. It looked like we got 3 wide getting down into turn 1.
Here's the replay right here.
Just have to look at it and see what happened. Our American Commercial Line Chevrolet was fast all weekend. It's the same truck that Ryan won with last weekend. I don't know what happened there. It looks like I might have drifted up a little bit, but I don't know. It's 3 wide early in the race. I don't know. It tore up a lot of good trucks, but hopefully we'll come back and get them soon.
Tough break for Cale Gale.
So again, a difficult start for not only Cale Gale, but T.J. Bell, Rick Crawford now on pit road. Todd Bodine came down early. Well, NASCAR said we've got to hold you a lap for doing that. We'll be back. Hey, Phoenix race fans, come out and join us for the grand opening celebration of the Speed Cantina at Phoenix International Raceway on Friday, November 7th. We will have live music and speed celebrities on hand following the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. For more information on the Speed Cantina at Phoenix International Raceway or to purchase race tickets, visit PhoenixRaceway.com. The lights come back out on the Pace truck, and so they're being told one more to go.
The Speed Cantina.
The Speed Cantina.
I like that. Phoenix is a great atmosphere. When we head out west to race there, the fans show up and they're there for the week, it seems. We get there on Thursday afternoon and they've already moved in with the motorhomes and the trucks are so popular there. I want you to come by the Speed Cantina and check us out.
You know, and Harvick will be back in that 2 truck next week at Phoenix, so that'll be exciting to watch. He's won there twice in the trucks.
Now this 14 truck, we saw him not elect to pit early. He stayed on the track all during that caution. Then when the pits were open, they came to pit road and went to work on the truck. Now they're back on pit road again, working on it more. So hope they can get this work done. It might have been wise for those guys to pit early, get that service done early under that caution flag so that they'd have a chance to get it fixed properly.
Yeah, because they know they're going to start at the back anyway because they're going to make pit stops with very few other trucks coming down pit road.
Another one of the guys involved in that first lap accident is T.J. Bell. He's standing by with Adam Alexander.
No doubt one of the most improved teams in 2008, this TRG Motorsports bunch. 5 consecutive top 10s ending here tonight. What happened on track, TJ?
I'm not really sure. You know, guys racing super hard at the very beginning of the race. Just a shame took a great Chevy Silverado for Homes for the Holiday out of the Chevy Silverado race tonight. You know, we look forward to Phoenix. I guess where we gather here and head to Phoenix with our new sponsor, Sponge Tech, and get going there.
Tough break for T.J. Bell.
You know, you're not really up to doing interviews on the 2nd or 3rd lap. You know, he wasn't warmed up yet.
You're not hoping that you're getting interviewed on lap 2.
He's been used to getting top 10 finish and talking after the race. He's 3 or 4 laps in, trying to tell everybody what his sponsors are and what happened in that crash. He just didn't have it together yet.
Crowd back on their feet as the green flag back in the air here at Texas Motor Speedway. It's Kyle Busch right in front of the field, and here comes Hornaday to the outside of that 07. How about Max Pappas running up there in the top 4?
Yeah, great qualifying effort for Mad Max and racing hard now with Hornaday.
I bet you Max had heard about those restarts Hornaday got, and he just got to experience one, didn't he?
How about, I'm guessing Max is going, wait a second. Truck Series is crazy as he drifts up the racetrack.
Wow, they're all wadded up off turn 4, Phil. Max Pappas didn't have a good 3 and 4, and he caused a a glob of trucks to get together.
Got real loose there. There is on the outside in that 07 truck. Dennis Setzer, the 18 truck, leads that line on the inside by Colin Brown right behind him, and then his teammate, Eric Darnell.
Still out in front. It is the 51, but now side by side for second. Here comes Hornaday. Hornaday making his way up there, challenging for the lead.
Got to get around Travis Kvapil before you can go after that lead, and Travis had a really solid. We talked about the high lane being a place where you could make some ground. Travis just ran around the top and gained a little bit on Ron Hornaday.
And remember, Travis Kvapil won here as a rookie in the Truck Series.
Very fast on the high side of the racetrack right there. Hornaday's thinking, man, just give me a break. I just need a...
Problem for Max Pappas. He's into the wall, coming out of 2.
He's going to try to make his way through the middle of the pack. Looks like nobody else will be involved.
Max Pappas coming out of turn number 2, slid up the racetrack right into the wall. So some damage to the right side of that race truck. And it looks as though he's going to have to bring that onto pit road. That sheet metal bent up on the right rear of that truck.
Started 5th, Rick. Had a great day yesterday. Loved his truck. Had a great qualifying effort. And started in the top 5, but it's over in a hurry, Phil.
Yeah, let's see if we can see what happened here. See him on the outside. Eric Darnell's on the inside. Eric's right on the bottom. He's got his tires on the white line and just ran out of room. Max just squeezed him a little bit down there. Didn't give Eric quite enough room. And there you see the contact with the outside. While Chad McCumbee, Mike Skinner do a great job avoiding this incident.
A lot of trucks do a great job avoiding that accident because this guy's sliding sideways right in the middle of that pack. Everybody, you don't know which way he's going to come off that wall. They just remained calm and worked their way through the crash.
Let's ride with David Starr right here, see what he saw. You see him there seizing up on the outside. David jumps to the inside, pulls to the inside of Paul Tracy in the 9 truck.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, Max Pappas came on the radio and said, guys, I don't know exactly what I did there, but he said the truck was very, very tight coming off of the corner. And as I said in my speed spotlight at the top of the show, Max had told me earlier today just about how difficult it was driving this vehicle. Totally brand new experience for him. He hasn't done that, but they did just recently announce that he will be driving for Germain Racing next year in the Sprint Cup Series with Geico as a sponsorship. So he's got some learning to do, but the truck was very, very tight.
So Max Pappas pulls his race truck back onto pit road, and he will make his way back to the racetrack. Aaron's lucky dog goes to Todd Bodine, so he gets his lap back early here at Texas. Don't turn your channels. I know it's scary, but we were lucky enough to get some wonderful pumpkins carved here at Texas Motor Speedway. Take a look at these.
Somebody's got some talent.
They have a lot of talent.
Mad skills on the pumpkins, because mine never looked like that.
No. Under the lights from Texas Motor Speedway, this race has been slowed twice already in the first 16 laps. The first wreck happening just after they completed lap number 1. And then our second caution coming out on lap 16. Truck or treat? We hope that your Halloween has gone well up to this point. It has been disappointing for quite a few. Adam Alexander, what's going on with our point leader?
I would say they are not disappointed in the early going. They've dodged some bullets, something any point leader likes to do early on in an event, and they've made some ground up. Went from 20th to just outside the top 10, and I think they feel good about this race truck. It's one they have confidence in, a couple of wins in it earlier this season, so JB doing exactly what he needs to do, closing in on this title. Ray?
And Adam, we talked at the top of the show about the fire in Billy Ballew's truck on the way to this racetrack. Believe it or not, there were 2 trucks in the hauler, and the one that Kyle Busch is driving tonight, one of those, it didn't sustain very much damage, and the guys worked on it all night to get it cleaned up before practice. But guess what? Kyle Busch has said he is wide open all the way around the Texas Motor Speedway, and he said that thing is turning like a gem. So that's bad news for the rest of the competition. A very, very happy Rowdy Busch.
Guys, I want to talk about Paul Tracy. Remember, he was my spotlight driver. He started all the way back in 22nd position, already up into the top 10, running 10th. First time ever in a truck, Michael.
Wow. He knows you're supposed to run around here wide open. That's what he did in his Indy car. So when they said go, he just went.
Well, and again, people will hear that and say, well, how can these guys go wide open? There's a tapered spacer on these engines, and it's been that way since the very first race of the season. So they are limited just a bit on horsepower.
But still, it's a job. You take one of these trucks and wrestle it around this mile-and-a-half track wide open. And some bad news for Rowdy Busch. He talked about how good his truck was turning, Rick. He said how good it felt. Ron Hornaday was faster than him. So when you're wide open and you like your truck and someone's faster than you, that'll make you scratch your head.
Probably not a good sign. But right now, it's Travis Kvapil running second, then Ron Hornaday is third as they go down the backstretch.
Remember, we had a side-by-side battle for second when that caution came out between Travis Kvapil and Ron Hornaday. Travis Kvapil obviously had the edge. Here's Paul Tracy on the outside. Johnny Benson going to try to take that spot from Paul Tracy. Johnny moves up into the top 10.
Now, is that a nervous feeling to be running next to a guy who's never run in a truck race and you're the point leader?
Well, you know, you certainly notice it. You know that guy doesn't have a lot of experience in one of these type of vehicles. You trust that Paul Tracy's a darn good race car driver. You know that. But anytime you're new to something, look at Max Pappas. Right. He's won races all over the world. He's new to a truck. He didn't make it very far. So Johnny's got to keep that in mind. He's down on the inside of Tracy as they go into turn 3.
And really squeezing him down there. At this stage of the game, Johnny's probably a little bit nervous running around anybody with a point lead at stake.
Well, he missed 2 wrecks on the first lap, so you might think his luck's, he's already challenged his fate a little bit.
Chad McCumbee in that 8, moving up on the inside of Paul Tracy. Again, Paul Tracy in the number 9. Chad McCumbee in the 8th. They run side by side on the racetrack. That's a battle for the 11th position now.
Yeah, a bunch of trucks behind this side-by-side battle. There's the 10 of Brendan Gaughan right behind them. Brendan had a relatively poor qualifying effort. Brendan qualified back in the 21st position, and he's knocking on the door of the top 10.
And look at Todd Bodine. He's already been a lap down once in this race. Been in a crash, and now he's trying to get in the top 10. So these guys are making some big moves early.
Terry Cook also going to try to move his way up towards the top 10. Remember, Terry made a pit stop back on lap number 9. There's Todd's Toyota on board, and Todd's truck owner, Steve Germain's daughter, Jessica, found out today that she passed the bar.
Wow.
So that's great news for the Germain family. Congratulations to Jessica.
Yep. Tonight's just a little icing on the cake because that made that family's day today.
Sure did.
And Todd Bodine continues to run side-by-side with Matt Crafton. Here's another side-by-side battle. Rick Crawford battling back from his damage early, but there's also damage on that 5, Michael.
Yeah, that was that incident on the backstretch. Remember, Michael, and when Max Pappas got into the outside wall, Mike Skinner and everybody was trying to seize up a little bit, and Mike got just a little bit of damage, but it did not even call for a pit stop.
Yeah, and another truck that had some damage is that truck that was beside him. Rick Crawford was in that first crash. He's rebounded nicely. Ron Hornaday, though, he drives around Travis Kvapil. He's up to second, and this truck is faster than our leader, Kyle Busch. So look for a challenge for the lead before a lap or 2 passes.
That looked like the situation there. Travis Kvapil realized Ron Hornaday's running faster, moved up the track a bit. Ron Hornaday went by. Now Hornaday is trying to reel in that 51. Take a look at the battle here for 4th as Colin Brown takes the position away from that 18 of Dennis Setzer.
Colin Brown, a very, very talented young driver. Great qualifier. Just really put some good finishes together. They've had a lot of bad luck with that Conway Ford, but Colin Brown is fast when he's out there, Mikey.
Yeah, he's got a good truck tonight, already up to the 4th spot. He knows that it's only going to get harder and harder as he trudges toward the front, though. You got Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday leading. That's a day's worth of work right there to get those 2.
Adam Alexander, I know Dennis Setzer's running up in the top 5. How's he feeling?
And he's a guy that has experienced a win in his past here at the Texas Motor Speedway, but practice yesterday, not exactly what they were hoping for. They made a number of changes, solid qualifying run earlier this evening, Dennis rolling off in the 11th position, and they've made the most of it early tonight. So Setzer looking for another top 5, and I think feeling decent about what they've got in the early stages.
Adam, that guy running behind him, that 22 of Scott Speed, has had a great run thus far, too. He was one of the fastest trucks on his average speed during happy hour. They were very optimistic. Talked to Doug Wilcott, his crew chief. They've already won this year, you know, at Dover. He said, I'm telling you, he's such a quick study. Scott is really doing a great job right now running up in the 6th spot, Ray.
And he said he's tight in the middle, Phil, and just as Doug Wilcott was about to say how tight, he said, stand by. I'll call it a 5.5. So not too bad. I don't think it's terrible tight, but just giving some information back to his crew chief. A little bit hard to turn the truck in the center. Adam?
12 laps ago under caution, Travis Kvapil, who is riding third and was running second at the time, said the truck was perfect. Then Ron Hornaday came lurking on his back door. The pass was made by driver 33. Kvapil came back, said, I am loose. Expect a chassis adjustment when the 09 makes their first trip down pit road, and I would expect that will happen the next time the caution flag waves.
Well, we don't want to see another caution here on Halloween night from Texas Motor Speedway. The points race is heating up where they're running on the track. 1 point separate Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday.
The countdown has begun. 2 races left. 2 drivers in the hunt. The closest points battle in NASCAR continues next weekend in Phoenix. It all starts with the setup at 7:30 live on Speed.
Kyle Busch still out in front on this Halloween Friday night race from Texas Motor Speedway. The gap between he and Hornaday almost a second now. He's put 0.7 seconds between himself and second place Hornaday.
You know, we talk about this great point battle we have here. We always have a great point battle in the Craftsman Truck Series, and people talk about in the Sprint Cup Series, as you see Kyle that's led every lap. You know, Jimmy Johnson, he's got a too big a lead or whatever, they have a chase. But just don't let him race anymore. Tell him he can't race. I mean, he's won 2 championships, going for a third.
And that won't happen. That's what I love about these races. People seem to take for granted that Jimmy Johnson has this big lead. He's going to drive off to a championship. Do you understand that our point leader here, Ron Hornaday, is running second? He had to miss a crash. They crashed in front of him and behind him on the first lap. The guy who's racing for a championship had to miss 2 crashes on the first lap. It can break out. Anything can happen at any point in time. And what I like about Hornaday, he's got a fast truck. He's run the 2 or 3 laps, the last 2 or 3 laps faster than the leader of the race. So look for him to close back in on Kyle Busch before too much longer.
Look how tight this is, and Paul Tracy gets a little bit loose. Battle for 7th and 8th on the left of your screen. That's Johnny Benson and Dennis Setzer.
Yeah, Johnny just got by Dennis for that position. That will gain him 4 points.
Well, we saw it now. You know, we saw Max Pappas kind of give the guy behind him not quite enough room as he exited turn 2. We're seeing the same thing out of Paul Tracy. Matt Crafton is in there. Paul needs to know that Matt's in there, and he's probably going to run into him if he keeps trying to cut him off. You just can't. You got to give people room these days. Back in the day, if a guy cut you off a little bit, you had time to give him some slack, understand that maybe he didn't know you were there. Nowadays, don't be thinking you're going to cut over in front of me because I'm coming through. That's what it looks like, and that's how it is.
Hey, we've run 37 laps, and these guys are running around here now with all these laps on the tires, barely a second faster than the pole was yesterday. These guys are continuing to run really, really fast laps around here.
Well, we heard Kyle Busch, you know, right after the start of the race saying, I'm wide open. Feels good, too. So, wide open, pretty much wide open. You're going to slip a little bit and give up a little bit of time, but it isn't anything like last week, is it, Phil?
No, it sure isn't.
We talked that it would look a little bit like last week because they're going to run high, they're going to run low, but there's just so much more grip here at Texas than there was at Atlanta.
Continuing to be side-by-side racing all the way around the racetrack now as we see Donnie Leah continue to move toward the front. We want to do a top 10 drop back, and we'll start off with Kyle Busch and Ray Dunlap.
And Rick, I talked at the top of the show about how Kyle Busch really wants to win here in Craftsman Trucks. He's finished twice here second, but doesn't have the victory. But right now, Kyle just came on the radio and said, I'm starting to get a little bit tight through the center, and he is certainly aware of Ron Hornaday back there in the rearview mirror. Now, Ron Hornaday talks about trophies, and he said that one of his favorite trophies that he's ever gotten was the one that he won right here at Texas. He said he's always wanted to win at Texas, and we remember just how incredibly happy he was in Victory Lane. He's got his sights on getting back there again tonight. Adam?
Chad Norris is the crew chief for one Travis Kvapil, and he's already told the crew what they want to do on their first pit stop. Air pressure to fix what is a loose condition for Travis Kvapil. And Kvapil should know all about the truck behind him. Colin Brown behind the wheel of the number 6. It's a vehicle that Kvapil has driven in the past to Victory Lane. Mark Martin has done the same. Loose in the turns is what Brown is reporting right now. He is being scored in the 4th position. Ray?
You know, Adam, I was a little wondering what happened to Scott Speed and in qualifying because he started 18th tonight, and they were so good in practice yesterday. But for whatever reason, whenever they put tape on the front of this truck and got it ready to go qualify and went with different air pressures, it just didn't run fast. But right now, it's very fast, and Scott Speed's really, really happy with his number 22 truck. Now, I talked with Eric Darnell, who just happens to be 4th in points, and asked him about his goals for the rest of the year. And he said, look, I'm not coming back truck racing full-time next year, or that's not the plans now, so points are not what we're worried about. We just want to win and get more victories for Northern Tool and Equipment. Adam?
42 laps into this race. Green flag pit stops will happen sometime around lap 60 if we don't see the caution. And when you have a long run, your truck can change. That's the case for Johnny Benson. Early on, he was saying loose. We want to make an air pressure adjustment to help the condition. Then he said, wait, fix that. I'm tight now. So that truck has gone from loose to tight over the course of this run. Meanwhile, the guy right behind him, Dennis Setcher, who started 11th this evening and was running in the top 5, started this race tight. Now he says the 18 truck is loose. And what about Shelby Howard riding in the top 10? He is a guy that has experienced a great deal of success in 2008, but typically on short tracks. It's nice to see the 1-3 running in the top 10 at an intermediate. Shelby Howard currently 9th in the running order, Ray.
And Adam, right behind him, hometown favorite David Starr. And one of my favorite things to do when we come to Texas is stand around when they have driver intros, because when David Starr goes across the stage, this place goes absolutely crazy. His office is less than 10 miles away from here. He's run more laps here than probably anybody else. And he said, if there's ever one more thing that I've got to do in my career, it's get a victory in the hometown track at Texas.
There's a battle side by side. Thank you, by the way, guys, getting us through the top 10. Paul Tracy on the outside, the 81 of Donnie Leah on the inside. Seems like Paul Tracy's been running on the outside of a lot of trucks already this year.
He really has. Donnie Leah looked like he had the advantage in the center of the corner. Paul Tracy had the momentum on the outside.
I just want him to run over to the right just a little bit more. Let's give these guys a little bit of room. And you can see he's doing that. He's moved up the hill quite a bit there. Leah's able to get by on the inside. But I think he's, but he battles back on the outside. He finds a little bit of a running room up there high. Looked much more sanitary up there where he was that time, Phil.
Yeah, Paul Tracy has run a handful of nationwide races in the past, but never in a truck. Doing a nice job right now, running just outside the top 15.
Well, and you can see behind him, that's Rick Crawford. Right there on the right of the screen, and right behind Rick Crawford, that's our pole sitter. Here comes our 3rd place starter leading the race, Kyle Busch. He's getting ready to lap some good trucks here.
Well, he really is. This battle right now we've been watching are all in danger of going a lap down.
You can 21 trucks are on the lead lap, and that means Rick Crawford right now is in danger of going a lap down because he runs 21st. It was David Starr that was in the top 10. Can he hang on to that top 10 spot? Kyle Busch continues to dominate here at Texas Motor Speedway. The Ghosts and Goblins came out early in this race. Cale Gale got caught up early, and the wrecks have continued. We'll be back with more Truck or Treat from Texas.
Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Just for Men. Stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. And by Advance Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning.
And welcome back. Ron Hornaday has taken over the top spot here at Texas Motor Speedway in the Chevy Silverado 350K. Fitting, I guess, as though Ron Hornaday's driving that Chevy Silverado right to the front.
As you can see, he has led 19 of our 23 races so far this season, and this is really what brought Ron Hornaday into the picture. Kyle Busch, our leader, came up on some lap trucks, or trying to lap. There's Rick Crawford and Paul Tracy. Kyle jumps to the inside, and these guys race through this corner 3 wide. Look at Ron sneak in there.
He's coming up behind him. And look, Kyle just couldn't quite clear the 14 truck of Crawford. That enabled Hornaday to get up on the inside of him. They ran side by side for 3 or 4 laps while they were trying to figure out who was going to lead this race. Look, Ron gets a fight down on the bottom of the racetrack, clears Busch off turn 2, but he hasn't been able to go anywhere. Kyle's hung right with him.
And so Ron Hornaday getting those 5 bonus points. That has enabled him to move in front now in our points battle.
David Starr slow off of turn 2. Not sure exactly what happened to him. Looked like maybe, let's see if we can take a look back at what happened to David Starr in this Zachary Toyota.
You heard his engine was way off the pace. He might have got,
Oh, he's got
real loose on the inside. Both of those guys do a nice job not making any contact.
Terry Cook came up on the outside and took that air right off the spoiler.
It did. It made him very loose, and these two are really lucky they didn't crash. Look at Terry Cook barely able to slip by between the star and the wall.
Hey, guys, 4 tires and fuel.
Ron Hornaday on pit road. That is your race leader, or was your race leader. Now we've got Kyle Busch out there in front. Ray.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what they do on this. I know it'll be 4 tires. They're going to add fuel, but I haven't heard about chassis adjustments. Why? Because Hornaday said 3 laps ago a little snug, and as he started down pit road, he said, Rick, it's a little loose too. So there's going to be a caution right now as the 63 has trouble on the racetrack. Hornaday's on the pit road here, gets his caution. We'll see how that plays out, whether he can get off of pit road ahead of the pace car.
He's going to be a lap down, I would say. I'd say Kyle Busch has probably already come around.
Yeah, they could have elected to get just 2 tires there, Phil, called off half that pit stop and got back out on the lead lap. They decided to finish that stop, and he's lost a lap. Our point leader is now a lap down.
Huge, huge.
What a difficult situation now for Ron Hornaday, who was our point leader before he came onto pit road. Now the pace truck is caught up to that 51 of Kyle Busch, so he'll get in front of the field. And there you see Ron Hornaday coming out behind our race leader.
Now he's going to have to battle to try to get in position to get that lucky dog. Obviously not going to get it right here. There's a 63 truck of Jack Smith of Dave Porter Auto Truck Sales.
He's torn up the left front of that truck bad. Wonder how he did this.
Let's take a look.
You see the tire is already smoking. Looks like he may have broken a spindle or a hub or something like that, Mikey.
Yeah, something went wrong with the steering on that truck, and he just looked like a ride along. And that
there was nothing he could do. It pulled him right into that inside wall. And here comes Kyle Busch bringing the field down onto pit road. Adam Alexander.
The man right behind him, Travis Kvapil, he said, I need more grip in the right rear. Chad Norris on the pit box said, give us 4 tires fuel. They will make a chassis adjustment. That being done now. 4 tires, and they will top off the fuel tank. And his teammate said, I need more grip on the front. That would be Colin Brown. You see him bottom of your screen. 4 tires fuel, track bar for the 6. Ray Dunlap.
On the top of your screen for Triple Pitch, you'll see Kyle Busch. They got a wedge adjustment on this Miccosukee Indian Gaming truck. Number 51 at the top, and in the middle, Scott Speed. He needs more front grip, 4 tires, and an air pressure adjustment on the right front. Kyle Busch is away. We'll watch the race off the end of pit road.
Looks like Travis Kvapil's going to win that race. Kyle Busch will come off second. There's Eric Darnell in third. Colin Brown fourth, and Scott Speed fifth.
Race continues off of pit road. Johnny Benson comes out 6th. Now a huge point implication for Ron Hornaday and Johnny Benson here.
Yeah, but it's early in the going. You know, you can have mistakes. You can have misfortune early in a race and overcome it. What bites you is with 20 or 30 laps, something like this were to go down. But right now, Ron Hornaday will stay on the racetrack. He will restart this race in front of the field, most likely be able to drive off from them and get his lap back like that, the old-fashioned way, Rick.
Under the lights from Texas Motor Speedway, the bad luck has now bit Ron Hornaday as he's a lap back and battling to get back up toward the top in our point standings.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Ford, who invite you to tune in to Ford Championship Weekend on Speed, November 14th.
Under the lights on a Halloween night. Actually, it's a very comfortable night here in the 70s.
Beautiful night.
Beautiful evening for racing. We're about to get back underway as they come out of turn number 4 and move into this quad oval for the restart here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Now, Ron Hornaday sitting right where he was before this caution came out, but there's a
green flag,
there's an asterisk by that.
Yeah,
Phil.
He's a mile and a half behind the leader right now of the race.
Tail end of the lead lap cars or trucks, and so Ron Hornaday trying to stay in front, and now what he needs is a caution.
Well, he pitted before the whole field. He was the first truck on the pit road. We saw that fight him at Martinsville. They thought they had enough gas to get to the finish, but they didn't. Here, everybody else had enough gas to run a few more laps. Caution flies. Ron Hornaday's a lap down. Look at Kyle Busch. He's wanting to get Ron Hornaday officially a lap down.
Wow. And he was flying past some of those other lap-down trucks.
Remember how good that 51 truck was early in the race. He led the first 35, 40 laps, something like that.
Now trying to get by that 33 once again. There's Johnny Benson back there on the right of your screen.
That's a battle for the 5th place. Speed's running 5th. Todd gets down on the inside of Scott Speed. Johnny Benson's going to see if he can fit in that hole too, but Speed goes around the outside of Matt Crafton. Matt had some trouble earlier in the race, was on pit road. Shelby Howard there. These guys have got a lot going on, Phil.
Yeah, how about Todd Bodine? What a recovery he's made. Remember, just a couple cautions ago, he got the Aaron's Lucky Dog with damage to the front of that truck, and here he is racing up in the top 5.
Now, Scott Speed's moving to the outside, and that Red Bull number 22 trying to. Oh, hear him feathering the accelerator there.
That's because the 88 of Matt Crafton was in front of him, slowing his progress.
And look at Johnny Benson. He's going to make it 3 wide down into turn 3. He's on the inside of Todd Bodine and Terry Cook.
Makes the pass work. Now what Johnny Benson is looking for is a long green flag run.
He'd like to get away from these trucks right now, too. A little more short term.
What he's looking for is some breathing room. He's been in a battle since they went back green. Now he's going to try to get underneath Terry Cook.
Oh, problems with the 11 of David Starr. He slides up the racetrack. Right behind him, Chad McCumbee gets turned sideways.
Brendan Gaughan does a nice job getting around the very top side of the racetrack to avoid this.
Brendan Gaughan likes going around the top. He was comfortable driving up there. He almost ran out of room. I cannot believe that 11 truck didn't get into the wall. He went sliding down into turn 1 and just barely kept it out of the outside wall.
See flat right side tires for Chad McCumbee. Both the right side tires flat. He gets it refired.
And guess who gets their lap back?
Maybe that 33?
Yeah. The 33 of Ron Hornaday will make his way around the racetrack.
And then we're going to give one to...
another.
Let's give one to Rick Crawford, too. He started on the pole.
It's Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Rick?
I'm guessing that's Trick. No, that's a treat.
That's a treat. Aaron's wants to give him a free ride around this racetrack, get back on the lead lap, and that team deserves it. He was in a crash. They set on the pole in a crash on the first lap, and now they fought their way back onto the lead lap. Good job by the 14 crew.
So the earned lucky dog goes to Rick Crawford. He'll be back on the lead lap. That will actually put 17 on the lead lap.
Now, how does this happen? Looks like David Starr tries to get into a hole that isn't there. Yep. Dennis Setzer had filled up the bottom of the racetrack, but Starr is so lucky. Look at that thing slide up the hill, but he keeps it out of the wall.
Did a nice job keeping that truck out of the outside wall. David was the victim of a 3-wide situation. He was in the middle, and then after that spelled out a little bit, you watch this. He's 3 wide here for a minute. As soon as they got around him on the inside and outside, he tried to move to the inside, and Dennis Setzer was there.
That's one cool thing about these trucks. They're so big that when they do go sideways, they just stall out. You know, it actually, the wind tries to get on the side of that truck and straighten it up. It certainly slows its progress, and because of that, he never hit that wall. I can't believe gets spun out going into a turn, running over 180 miles an hour, and not wind up in the wall.
Let's ride along with him. This is David Starr. And how about that?
Usually that's followed by a kush.
Yeah. What a view he had and what we had with him. There's Ron Hornaday on pit road once again.
Yeah, need to get a little gas. We figured out maybe their mileage isn't as good as some of the other trucks, Ray. Is that the thinking?
Well, and they went down just a half a round on the track bar for Ron Hornaday, so making a very slight chassis adjustment. But yeah, Rick Wren said, let's not do tires here, obviously, but we need to put a little fuel in it. They're back on the lead lap now, getting the Aaron's Lucky Dog.
And remember now, he did not get the Aaron's Lucky Dog, Ray. He actually earned his way back because he was in front of our leader, Kyle Busch, so he will not have to start from the tail end of the longest line. Rick Crawford will, so he can start wherever he lines up on this restart.
Under the lights from Texas Motor Speedway, now the treats have been distributed. It goes to Rick Crawford and Ron Hornaday this time on Halloween. The jack-o'-lanterns are out here at Texas Motor Speedway under the lights on a Halloween Friday evening.
Jeff Gordon likes him some holograms, don't he? He does that really well.
He sure does. Let's go down trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, I want to show you real quickly the tires that came off of Kyle Busch's truck. This is the right rear here, and you'll notice just a tiny little bit of cording down here on the tire. Now, this is a full run for that tire. That's all you expect out of it because we're at the end of a fuel run. So they're not overly concerned, and they said basically he just got all the good out of it. But don't doubt about it, the Goodyear guys were down here and looking at it, and all the crew members taking a real quick look at that, but they think it's not going to be a problem the rest of the race.
Dennis Setzer thought there was a tire issue with his truck as well. Right front is what he was complaining about, so they pitted under caution. Marcus Richmond, the crew chief, said everything is fine. Setzer, who's been running in the top 10, will restart 14th, and we are just about ready to get the green flag right now.
Back in the air it goes. It's Kyle Busch in front of Travis Kvapil, Eric Darnell, Colin Brown, and Scott Speed. They're your top 5 when we get the green.
Ron Hornaday restarts Rick in the 13th spot. You watch him cut up through there. That's a fast truck. He's not going to mess around in that traffic long. I think this guy figures the quicker he gets through these guys, the less chance something can go wrong. And I like that thinking.
I tell you what, the points tonight have been like the stock market as of lately. Up and down and up and down, and it's been Hornaday on top, and then now Benson back on top. How about this? Hornaday forcing his way up here, trying to move up toward the front.
Got by that 81 of Donnie Leah. Now he's on the outside of the 13 of Shelby Howard. Going to follow the 5 of Mike Skinner. And oh, by the way, that's the point leader, the 23, right in front of him.
That's a good sign. That's a good sight for Ron right there. Didn't take him long to drive right up to Johnny Benson. Johnny's got a good truck, but his truck isn't as fast as Ron's in the early going.
1 and 2 in the points right now, running nose to tail. Johnny Benson in the 23 on the inside. Here comes Hornaday on the outside.
He's going to make a statement right here.
Hornaday saying, oh, by the way, I would like to leave this racetrack with the points.
Well, he knows he's got his work cut out for him. He had to be, when he watched that race back from Atlanta and saw what Johnny Benson accomplished, I guarantee you that whole 33 team said, wow, these guys are going to battle us, as if they didn't already know that.
Take a look at this.
Hornaday slow through the center of the corner.
Oh, if you want it.
Johnny just drove by him on the bottom of the racetrack.
Now Johnny Benson looking to take some more spots away. In front of him, Terry Cook and Scott Speed.
Look at
Ron back outside.
What a shot he got off that corner. And I don't know what happened to Ron down there in the center of 3 and 4.
Still there. Still there.
It's 3 Bill Davis racing trucks there. Speed, Skinner. Oh, those two get together.
Be awesome.
Scott Speed looking a little aggressive as his teammate Mike Skinner runs right in front of him, and then right behind him is Johnny Benson. Now Hornaday takes the spot away. Again, a battle continuing for 9th on the racetrack between Hornaday and Benson.
Hornaday jumps to the inside of Scott Speed. That is a battle for position.
You can see Johnny Benson lurking right there behind these two. It isn't real stable right now. These guys are all over each other.
Look at Johnny's going to make a free right on the inside.
Johnny coming back to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by that 33 of Ron Hornaday. Championship racing right now as we pass the halfway point at Texas Motor Speedway.
How about that? Now Johnny wants to make a statement of his own here.
They said, oh, by the way, I am going to let you know I can still run to the inside of you.
And Brian Scott
coming up top. You're still clear, still clear.
Good run by the 16 truck off that second turn. Johnny assumed he had room, got up there, and fortunately he did have some room. But look at Scott. He's got a good line around the high side of this track.
Brian Scott running 12th. There's Kevin Harvick. Ryan Newman, last week's winner from Atlanta Motor Speedway, watching. Again, they had their eyes set on that 2 of Cale Gale early in this race, but that ended quickly on lap 2. Cale Gale gets sideways, and that truck no longer on the racetrack.
Got a lap truck there, Paul Tracy, that Hornaday's dealing with.
Same kind of dealer. Ron is smart enough to not to drive it in there beside him through the center of the corner. We see so many trucks get loose when they're side by side. The guy on the inside, he backs off a little bit entering the corner and then tries to beat him through the center and off. This time he felt like he had enough by him that he went ahead and drove it down in there.
Yeah, you know, if you can get your cab, if you can get that cab up to the right or left front tire of the guy you're on the inside of, you can go ahead and charge the corner. But if you're even side by side, you'll lose all your downforce if you try to dive in the corner. The thing will get really loose. So Ron, seeing you had enough of his truck ahead of Paul Tracy, he just dove it on down in the corner and completed that pass.
So hard to lap down or no? Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Talking about this battle with Paul Tracy right now. Adam Alexander.
Johnny Benson riding in the 10th position, but uncomfortable right now. When the caution came out moments ago, they came down pit road. He said, loosen me up. He just came on the radio, said, I'm tighter than I was before. Still some work to do for the championship point leader. And what about the rookie leader in points? That would be Colin Brown, riding in the 4th position. This is a driver that's gotten better and better as the year has gone on. Yet to get a victory, but their focus next year will be on a championship. And a perfect example of that, they go to the wind tunnel next week with their Daytona truck. They are already getting set for 09 and a championship run for this guy who is destined to win the rookie championship, Ray.
And Adam, right behind him, you see the in-car truck there of Terry Cook and that number 59 Harris Trucking, an ASE-sponsored truck. What a great run for these guys. Now, you documented last week that they bought this exact chassis from Bobby Hamilton Racing. It's one of the last ones that was ever built back in Nashville. But last week, they had problems on pit road, and that caused Terry to go down 5 laps. But they brought that exact same truck back to Texas tonight and having a great run, running in 5th. Now back behind the number 59, Todd Bodine, and we documented earlier in the race his troubles on pit road, got damage on the front, but Todd Bodine said he's determined to get that truck back up. Now he was very loose in the center early on, and they continue to make adjustments on that truck to try to get him to turn better in the corner. And then the 5 of Mike Skinner has fallen back just a little bit, but he was right up on the bumper of Todd Bodine. And that 5 truck was very, very loose at the beginning of the run, and they made a big wedge adjustment for him on that last round of pit stops, put 4 tires on there. A little different look for Skinner tonight as he has XM radio on the hood.
Again, Mike Skinner running in the 9th spot right now, and the 3 Bill Davis Racing trucks all running nose to tail on the track.
You can see David Starr, he went for a slide for life, no damage, no foul. Now he's driving around Paul Tracy.
And still on the lead lap. See Brendan Gaughan also on the lead lap. You see some sparks from underneath that 11 truck of David Starr. Just a couple moments ago, Michael, coming off turn number 2, we had a couple guys getting the fence. One of those is Paul Tracy. See him bounce off the fence, and then Brendan bounces off the fence right behind the 11 of David Starr.
Brendan hit that wall pretty doggone hard. That just goes to show you how hard these guys are driving every lap. Watch Brendan Gaughan just run through, boom.
You heard David Starr get out of the throttle because Paul Tracy was in the process of hitting the wall right in front of him.
Here we see Johnny Benson trying to pass his teammate.
You can't leave anything on the table, it doesn't seem. And these guys, they want to try to gain every position they can. They want to try to stay on the lead lap. And that just goes to show you how much effort is going into that desire.
Now, we talked last week about team orders and Ron Hornaday finishing second to his teammate Ryan Newman. Is there a situation where these guys aren't racing for a win right now? Should Mike Skinner give him the position early in this race?
I haven't seen any evidence of that happen. And those 3 trucks, the 22, the 5, and the 23, they were racing like it was the last lap. Nobody giving anybody a break.
Yeah, and the 22 of Scott Speed has driven away from this battle right here with Skinner and Johnny Benson. These guys right now are battling for the 9th spot.
It's like Johnny's got the inside line, but can he clear Mike Skinner? You'd like to think you get a break from your teammate, but you
just tried to wreck us leaning on the door.
You can see how Johnny feels about it.
Not happy right now.
Still there.
This is a situation, though. If you're Johnny and that is your teammate, you would like him to give you a break right here. There's no sense racing side by side here. We've got 63 laps to go, and meanwhile, the leader's driving away from both of them.
That's Kyle Busch. He's got almost a second lead now on Travis Kvapil. Adam Alexander, have you heard anything on the radio here?
Johnny Benson has commented on how things are going between he and Skinner, and he said that's a good way to lose the truck, the way he is driving me right now. Benson able to complete the pass, but I don't think he felt good about the situation he was involved in with his teammate. And here's a pass for position. Hornaday to the inside of Bodine.
That's for 6th right now as Hornaday has taken the 6th spot away from Todd Bodine, and he begins to pull away from a guy who has won 4 races at this racetrack. And here's a guy who has never won a race in the Truck Series here at Texas Motor Speedway, looking to find victory lane under the lights on this Halloween night. Could it happen for Kyle Busch? Could it be his 21st win of the 2008 season in all 3 of the NASCAR Series? Sunday on Speed, go beyond the highlights and beyond the stats as Speed connects you to the world of motorsports like you've never experienced before. The Speed Report, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Chris Devoda, Ralph Shaheen, and special guest Doug Richard will talk you through all the motorsports action this week. Take a look at our race summary. After 91 of 147 laps, Kyle Busch is leading. He has led the most laps, so he will receive 10 bonus points for this race. But he's not worried about points so much as he is worried about winning this race once again.
What a great run for Terry Cook in that 59 truck. He drives around the outside of Colin Brown. They're off turn 2.
And meanwhile, Michael, while we were at commercial break, the 33 of Ron Hornaday passed both of these trucks right here to move up into the 4th position.
So Ron Hornaday closing the gap now once again on the points lead. Johnny Benson was back out front. Ron Hornaday's had to battle his way back from being at the tail end of the lead lap, and now he's just 4 points behind. And we've got problems with Donnie Leah sliding onto the pit road. Will he get into the wall? Very close as everyone scrambled at the wall. And that will bring the caution out once again. The 5th time the caution has come out. Donnie Leah through the infield and almost into the pit road wall.
Looks like Donnie Leah will be able to stay on the lead lap. He is almost at the end of pit road. Kyle Busch now just going by the start-finish line there. You can see it right there. So Donnie Leah does stay on the lead lap.
Take a look at what just happened with Donnie Leah.
He's really lost it well up in that 4th turn. And never did go all the way around until he got on pit road. And watch him light this thing up, Phil. He's trying to drive it and keep it off that wall.
And I think he did it, too. Great job by Donnie Leah.
Never gave up. That's what you don't ever assume you're going to crash until you hit. And that's exactly what this cat did. He said, I'm going to light this baby up.
It's amazing he kept that truck out of the inside pit wall.
Watch, the wheels are stopped. The wheels are stopped.
I mean, it looks like he's headed towards that pit wall right here, and then he lights it up and stops that backward momentum. Remember we talked about during our last commercial break. There goes Ron Hornaday by the 59 of Terry Cook. Terry pulls over to the inside to let him go.
5 points right there. Yeah. There's 5 more right up there.
And he's going after it right now. Ron Hornaday's going to follow him off turn number 4. When they get down to 1 and 2, watch and see what Ron Hornaday does.
Got a good run off turn 4. He's got the momentum. He's gaining. He's gaining. He's gaining.
He just drives to the outside, stays in the throttle, and drives around the outside.
5 more points for Ron Hornaday. Again, that was moments ago. Here comes the field, Adam.
Travis Kvapil second, said it is better than it was earlier, but I still need help. Loose the situation, so they will go a little farther on the track bar. 4 tires and fuel, a little bit of air pressure as well. His teammate loose on the long run. That would be Colin Brown. You see him bottom of your screen. They are also going to make a chassis adjustment. 4 tires and fuel for him, Ray.
Rowdy Busch said, leave this thing alone. I like the way it's driving. Richie Waters says, we'll do just that. We'll put 4 tires on it for you. But on the 99, they wanted to take a piece of tape off the front because his temperature was up to 240. Obviously, we can make it to the end on the fuel right here, but everybody wanted to get 4 tires.
Eric Darnell pulled out of his pit and made contact with his teammate, Travis Kvapil, who won the race off pit road.
What was Eric Darnell thinking there? He had to have seen that truck on his outside, and he just kept going right out to him.
Let's see if we can take a look at it. This is Watts coming off pit road there, Eric. He's going to pull out of his pit. He has to pull around the 22 of Scott Speed, and there's the contact right there between Eric and the 09 of Travis Kvapil. Doesn't look like a great deal of damage to the 99.
I don't think that hurt a thing.
Aaron's lucky dog goes to Shelby Howard. So Shelby Howard will join 17 others on the lead lap. That makes 18 now on the lead lap here in Texas. It's time to test your Truck Series knowledge with the Aaron's Lucky Guess trivia question. How many times has the driver leading the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series point standings with 3 to go not gone on to win the championship? Again, now there's some history.
I don't know, so can I guess?
Well, I'm going to let you guess, sure.
Okay. Because sometimes I know it, and I don't want to guess because I give the
But this time you say you don't know,
No, I
and
don't.
guess.
I'm going to guess 3.
Okay. You think 3 times in the history of the Truck Series with 3 to go.
I think it's more than that, but I'm going to say 4, but I'll tell you, that just shows you what kind of championship battles we have in this series.
How come you just winked at our statistician, Jimmy?
Well, he was looking at me funny.
Was he holding up 4 fingers?
You may have known the answer.
He was looking at me funny, those while we...
Green flag comes back out. It is Travis Kvapil in front of the field now.
Now, the last time Kyle Busch had people to pass, he just went around the outside when they got to the first turn.
He ran in the back of Eric Darnell right there.
Right on the back bumper. Kyle Busch looks to the outside. It's going to be 3 wide in turns 1 and 2.
Hornaday said, maybe I'm going to have some of that outside action.
Isn't this a fun track? Those guys just go wherever they want. When they get the corner, if somebody's in the way, they just find a path to go around them.
Eric Darnell all over the back bumper. And here comes Kyle Busch to the outside. Kyle's going to take second away from Eric Darnell as they work their way through 3 and 4.
Well, he just drove around him and cleared him by the time he exited turn 4.
Wow. That takes a lot of talent. You have to really believe in your truck, too. He hadn't had a chance to fill those tires out, Phil. He didn't really know what he had. He just knew he was going to pass that guy ahead of him.
But he knows that Richie Waters gives him a good truck every time.
Now Travis Kvapil trying to stay in front of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has been dominant tonight. He's led 87 laps. Travis Kvapil led his 7th lap that time by the start-finish line.
But, Rick, while he was leading those laps, the first 5 or 6 trucks on the track were running times comparable to Kyle Busch out in front. He had the clear racetrack, which meant he could run anywhere he wanted, but yet he couldn't outrun guys running 4th, 5th, 6th behind him. So and that is proven out now. Look at this first 5 or 6 trucks battling for the lead past halfway in this race.
We saw Hornaday make a run at Eric Darnell. Looked like he really got it beside him. Then looked like he might have either lost the front end or got a little bit loose. Had to slide up the hill. Just barely cleared the back of that 99 of Eric Darnell.
Kyle Busch has led this lap pretty much from the beginning, and he drove around the second place truck of Eric Darnell like he was just going to go grab the lead. Now he sees what he's got. He sees Travis Kvapil isn't just going to lay over. That's a fast truck, and he can't get around him.
Riding along with Terry Cook. Terry Cook running in the 10th spot right now. He started way back in 26, so he has been able to work his way up into the top 10. Brian Scott with an impressive run, running just in front of Terry Cook in that 9th spot, right behind Mike Skinner at 8.
Now coming back inside.
I was talking to Jeff Hensley, the crew chief for Brian Scott. He said, I really like this young driver. He said he really listens well. He's a quick learner, and he's fast. He told me in practice, he said, I don't know why we couldn't qualify any better. The truck just wouldn't qualify fast. He said, but in race 1, Ron, we were really, really good. Brian started all the way back in the 25th spot, and here he is racing up in the top 10.
And what I like about what he just did, Phil, he drove around, tried to get around the outside of Hornaday in 3 and 4. Ron run up the hill, so he just drives down to the bottom of him and passes him in turn 1 and 2 on the bottom. He wasn't committed to one line or another. He just wanted to go where Ron wasn't, and he made the pass.
Ron Hornaday now running in the 4th spot, but out in front it's Travis Kvapil. Adam, what are they saying?
Rick, there is plenty of room to pass on track here at the Texas Motor Speedway as you see Ron Hornaday going to the inside of Eric Darnell for that 3rd position. But Travis Kvapil says the best place for a driver to pick up positions on pit road. His team did a great job when they came down for what will probably be their final pit stop at lap 95, and that's why he is out front with 44 laps to go. Can he stay there? Let's hear about the guy that's chasing him. Ray Dunlap has that story.
Well, Kyle Busch was the leader, and he went out 3rd because of that great pit stop from the 09 group. But will he stay out the rest of the race? Probably not, because there's still a set of stickers here in the pit road area, and he called Richie Waters, the crew chief, and said, are we going to get tires one more time? And Richie said, with 10 laps or more to go, for sure we'll pit. With 10 or less, we'll have to make a decision. But a set of stickers down here, and I'll bet you Kyle Busch comes back down pit road one more time tonight if we get another yellow.
You know, Adam was talking about Travis Kvapil, and the easiest way to pass these guys is doing on pit road. That's the 2nd pit stop that team made and got him out front both times.
See Terry Cook looking the inside of Mike Skinner. This is a battle for the 9th spot.
See Brian Scott right out in front.
Mike's truck's been wanting to go up the hill all night long. He can't hold it on the bottom. Terry Cook's going to try to open that door and walk through it.
We heard how little Terry was out of the throttle down there in that corner. See if he can fight down into turn number 1 here.
A little bit tighter getting into turn 1. Had that truck on his outside.
Ooh,
battle for second. Take a look at this. Hornaday moving to the outside of Kyle Busch.
You know, Phil, I've noticed that 09 truck. He's looking at Travis Kvapil, looks like he's getting tight. He keeps coming off the corner a little bit higher than these other guys, washing out. And Ron Hornaday's fixing to take advantage of his truck not working right.
If you'll remember now, in the setup show, the scarecrow that doesn't have a brain said he thought Travis Kvapil might win this race.
Yeah, but he also said A.J. Foyt was going to win it, so I discounted anything you said after that. But look
Here
at Hornaday
comes
around
Hornaday.
the outside.
Hornaday goes to the outside. A battle for the lead, and he makes the pass. Ron Hornaday, what a strong truck he's got tonight.
What a power move he made around the outside.
Look at Eric Darnell looking to grab that 3rd spot away from Kyle Busch. Kyle's thinking, what just happened to my race? It was going perfectly. These guys, I think, Rick, will all come to pit road one more time. They get a caution anytime now over the next 20 laps. These guys are definitely coming to pit road. And like Richie Waters says, if it gets down really late, they got to make a decision because you can't give up track position if other people stay out. But I believe these guys will come get tires again.
Again, 147 laps is our scheduled distance. We only have 39 laps remaining. Travis Kvapil now trying to stay in front of that 51 of Kyle Busch, and Eric Darnell moving up there as well. Here, currently in the 4th spot. Now here comes the 51. Kyle Busch for second, trying to take it away from Travis Kvapil.
Well, he was fixing to lose third a minute ago, and now here he is driving back around Kvapil for second.
He wants to go chase down that 33 of Ron Hornaday.
Hornaday trying to check out now on the field as he put almost a second between he and Kyle Busch in the 2 laps that he has led here at Texas Motor Speedway after the last pass on Travis Kvapil. Doug Richard watching Mike Skinner try to work his way up to the field. In the Lone Star State on Halloween evening here Friday night. On Speed, it's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from Texas Motor Speedway. It is still Ron Hornaday in front of the field. Eric Darnell had problems with his race truck and came onto pit road. Ray, what was going on?
Came on the radio, Rick, and said we've got a flat right. They weren't sure whether it was front or rear, but they put right sides on that thing and back to the racetrack. But Eric said we can't take a chance with this much left in the race, so they came to pit road and back out, and they said be careful about getting up on the blend line. He was able to do that, but I'm sure he's a lap down.
He is, Ray, but he is right now the first truck being shown 1 lap down. Actually, the only truck 1 lap down. So if the caution flag were to come out, he would get there. Aaron's lucky dog and get back on the lead lap. Meanwhile, Ron Hornaday is driving away.
He's running the fastest laps, Phil, lap after lap, the fastest laps any leader has run, any truck has run all night long. And this is a really good time to have your truck the best it's been all night, huh?
And with Ron Hornaday out in front, as they're running on the racetrack, Hornaday has grabbed that lead back in our points championship by 9 points over Johnny Benson. But Johnny Benson's not having a bad day. He's already running 6th.
Yeah, he really is. He was 7th just a few laps ago. He was able to get by Terry Cook for the 6th position. Travis Kvapil, meanwhile, running 3rd. He's got a good run going with his Zaxby's Ford.
It looked like Johnny Benson was going to be able to drive around Colin Brown and Ty Bodine and really close in on the top 5 up there where Hornaday's running, but he stalled out. Adam, what's happened to that truck? It looked really strong when they went back to this restart.
It did, and they made a number of changes on it, Michael, under that last caution when they pitted at lap 95. He has been complaining about his truck being too tight throughout the evening. They made a fairly large swing when they made that last pit stop. Unfortunately, it's not as good as they would like, but traditionally, Benson, a guy who turns up the wick late in the run, gaining ground on the 6 of Colin Brown. Perhaps the point leader coming in can shine in the late going here tonight, Ray.
And Adam, as we move back to the front of the field and talk about Ron Hornaday throughout the year, it's been the amount of laps led that he has really dominated throughout this season. Back out front with that VFW Chevrolet. And again, guys, if you can check your monitor, I assume Kyle Busch led the most laps tonight, so Hornaday won't get those bonus points. But coming into this race tonight, Hornaday had 40 more bonus points than Johnny Benson, and that has been a big part of this championship chase as we narrow down after tonight. Just 2 races to go in the chase for the 2008 championship.
There's a great battle on the racetrack for the 4th spot. Top 09 has it. Colin Brown right there in that Conway Ford right behind him. Michael, you said, you know, just running up in the top 10 is not going to be enough to win this championship. Right now, Johnny Benson's got a pretty good run going, running 6th. He may lose the point lead if they were to finish just like this. He's actually being shown right now 1 point behind.
Ray hit on it. 5 bonus points for leading. And so Ron Hornaday is leading the championship. Johnny Benson trails by 9 points as they run on the racetrack. Johnny Benson trying to break into the top 5 right now on the racetrack. And Hornaday win it again in Texas. We're about to find out. It's time to give you the answer. How many times has the driver leading the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series point standings with just 3 races to go not gone on to win the championship? Again, coming into this race, it was Johnny Benson that was leading with 3 races to go. It's happened 4 times.
Well, 4 times, that's right.
Jimmy told. Michael, how many
I
times?
knew it was somewhere around 3 or 4.
Sprague with 3 to go was leading the points. Hornaday won the championship in 98. Biffle with 3 to go was leading the points. Sprague ended up winning the championship. In 03, we had 4 of them battling for the championship at the last race. It was Quapple who ended up winning. Gunn was leading with 3 to go. And then Setzer with 3 to go in 2004. And it ended up being Bobby Hamilton, the champion that season.
And that's why this series is so fun to watch, and this championship battle is so fun to follow. I mean, you'd think if you were leading late in the season, you could pull it off, but that's not the case in the trucks.
It's normally by a handful of points is what you're leading by.
I was watching these guys coming down the front straight. Watch Travis. He doesn't cut the 15 much slack, does he? Runs him down to the grass.
Sure did. They actually made a little bit of contact right there.
I bet you Ryan Lawler's thinking, well, darn.
I gave you some room.
What about me? Don't I get some of this track?
What about all that room over to the right you had there, Travis?
Todd Bodine
gets a run through the center of the corner. He's going to pull up beside that Zaxby's Ford off of 2.
Great run for Bodine, trying to take 3rd away from Travis Quapple.
And look, lurking back just a few truck lengths back, there's Johnny Benson. He's running in the 6th spot, but there's the 3rd place truck right out front of him. He knows that's 15 points he desperately needs. Just go up there and pass those guys and get those points.
That would put him back in the lead of this championship battle right now.
Going to get out in front. It's Ron Hornaday. Hornaday will not lead the most laps. That will go to the 51 of Kyle Busch. He led 87 laps early on in this race. So Hornaday has led his fair share at 25 laps, and Travis Quapple has led 15 when he was out in front. Now Todd Bodine running in that 3rd spot. Again, Todd Bodine has won at this racetrack 4 times. 2 drivers have done it, both of them in the field. The other one being Brendan Gaughan.
And Brendan did all his 4 in a row.
In a row. What an impressive accomplishment that has been for both of these drivers. And now Todd Bodine running 3rd, looking to be the first driver to ever win 5 races at one racetrack.
Side by side, Colin Brown jumps to the inside of his teammate. Is he going to bring Johnny Benson with him?
Johnny Benson's going to follow. Let's see if he can get by that 09 of Travis Quapple.
Johnny right down on the bottom of the racetrack. These trucks will race side by side down the front straightaway.
5 more points for Johnny Benson if he can get by Travis Quapple. That would move that point lead of Ron Hornaday's down to just 4 points.
I believe Travis Quapple's truck has gone off a little bit on him. He's, he was running up in the 3rd spot. He lost 3rd to Todd Bodine. Now he's lost 4th and 5th.
It just looks like it's tight. Like he just can't get it to turn exiting the corner. I noticed that when he was leading the race earlier, he was using up a lot of road. And when you start using up a lot of road on exit, that means it just won't quite turn for you. And that's what's happened to him. This truck looks solid the more laps we run. There's 17 to go. The caution flies now. These crew chiefs are going to be, I think everybody comes to pit road. If it gets any much later than this and the caution flag falls, then they're going to have some real decisions to make. I like Johnny Benson's truck if this race stays green. I think he can go up there and get Colin Brown and maybe even Todd Bodine. But if the caution comes out, it's going to throw a...
Set him up, buddy. Set him up. We'll get some clean air. When you head clean air out, the 3150 lap.
Hear Doug Rickard talking to Mike Skinner. Mike's been running real high. We haven't seen any fast trucks. Fast trucks up high. Mike's been the highest guy.
He really has. There's Brian Scott right now. Brian runs in the 8th spot. Skinner's got 9th. Scott Speed, the 22 Red Bull Toyota, rounds out the top 10.
Another one of Mike Skinner's teammates, but it's Ron Hornaday that's out in front of this field and looking extremely strong as he's got almost a 2-second lead right now over Kyle Busch, Ray.
And Rick, all the crew chiefs have to do a lot of pre-planning before we head out this direction. You know, they'll bring the trucks with them that we're going to go to Phoenix with. And they've already picked their truck for Phoenix. It's number 27, one that they've run a good bit. But Rick Wren has a big dilemma on his hands. What should he do about Homestead? He's got 2 trucks to pick from. One, the truck that they're driving tonight with its chassis 24. They won with this truck here in the spring, and they're dominating tonight. But they also have a newer truck, number 30, that they ran at Vegas and Atlanta. And Rick Wren's not quite sure which one he wants to take to Homestead yet. This one a proven winner or their newest piece. He's not really quite sure yet. Adam?
Phoenix and Homestead, 2 places where Ron Hornaday has been very good over the years. And Johnny Benson, pretty solid on those racetracks as well. When you look at how good the 23 team has been on those flat racetracks like what we will see next week at Phoenix, it is amazing. Very consistent, always contending for wins. And then there's the Homestead Miami Speedway, another one of these mile-and-a-half ovals where Johnny has been good all season, and of course he won there a year ago. It's a championship battle that no doubt will be decided on the final race of the year, and two guys going after it at facilities where they have got an amazing history.
It continues to seesaw back and forth, and this is the reason why. Both of them have been to victory lane 5 times already. What a great season both drivers are having. And look at this list of names of drivers that we have had win races.
That battle for 8th and 9th continues. Brian Scott had it a few moments ago. Skinner was behind him. Skinner made the move on the outside. As you mentioned, Mikey Skinner's been the one that's run the highest here.
Look at Johnny Benson. He drove up on the inside of the 6 truck of Colin Brown off turn 4. Colin shut the door, and these guys can't figure out who needs that 8th spot worse. They've been back and forth just about every lap. The last time I looked up, Skinner was down low and Scott was up high.
Ooh, Skinner got a good run. Brian got a little bit loose. It looked like that time on the bottom of the racetrack. Skinner drove by him on the outside.
Just pulling away from Brian Scott. Brian Scott's able to hug that white line down on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Johnny Benson, again trying to get past that 6 of Colin Brown, and now we're at the make or break point as far as tires. If a caution were to come out right now, it'd be a huge gamble to come onto pit road.
I think the guys up front have to stay out. The guys at the back of this lead lap really have nothing to lose to come in, and that could really gain them some spots towards the end of the race.
Well, we've got 17 trucks on the lead lap. I think if I'm running 8th, 10th, 12th, and now I'm definitely coming to pit road. But these leaders now, I believe, will stay out. I don't think they're coming back to pit road. Look at that left front corner of Todd Bodine's truck. That's downforce. That's aerodynamics pushing that truck down. So far, it's dragging the ground.
And remember, they put a front end on that 30 of Todd Bodine when he had some damage earlier, didn't they, Ray?
Yeah, and that could be a big problem for him here in the closing laps, Rick. The water temperature going sky high on this number 30. The tape apparently has fallen down and blocked that off. And as Michael said, the air's going over that truck, but it's not going into the engine. And Todd is saying the water temperature continuing to rise here. We don't have that many laps left, but they're certainly concerned about it.
Ray, I've got a solution to that problem for Todd Bodine. Stop looking at the gauge.
Well, you're not going to do anything now.
Exactly. You're not going to stop.
You're inside 10 laps. 9 to go.
You're just going to hope that Toyota motor will keep on perking for another 15 miles or so.
Ron Hornaday almost a 2-second lead over Kyle Busch as we're down to the final 9 laps of racing here at Texas Motor Speedway.
You know, it's Halloween. Crazy things happen.
Oh, we've seen some crazy things happen already tonight.
Well, we've had like 3 or 4 straight green-white checkers here in Texas. Something crazy.
It has been amazing.
5, Michael, 5.
Travis Kvapil has fallen back into the clutches of Terry Cook. That is a battle for the 6th spot.
Again, Terry Cook has started every race here at Texas Motor Speedway. 21 races previously, this being the 22nd tonight.
He'd like to get by that 09 truck of Travis Kvapil. Mike Skinner continues to lead that battle for the 8th spot over Brian Scott.
Ray Dunlap just told me in my headset that it was 5.
He told me in my headset and Phil in his headset.
And
everybody in America watching, it's been 5.
Oh. I thought he was doing like the...
He told us all.
I thought the statistician gave me another little hint there, but that was... Everybody heard that?
Yeah, everybody.
We all heard it. Here comes Terry Cook to the outside of that 09.
And I love this run Terry Cook's having. Just changed rides, and darn, he's driving that thing. He's up to the 6th spot.
You know, Ray told us this was the same truck he had at Atlanta. Had a great truck at Atlanta. A left rear wheel worked loose. Ended up causing him several laps during that race. Had a good top 5 run going there, but looks like he's just outside the top 5 right now with a great run going.
Now again, only 17 trucks are on the lead lap. Hornaday is going to be coming into lap traffic now as he's closing in on Shelby Howard.
You know what happened the last time he closed in on lap traffic?
They
had a crash.
It was a problem.
Got all wadded up.
We're here in the 30s, not keeping up the blistering pace that he was setting earlier. Again, Todd Bodine running in the 3rd spot. It's Hornaday, Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine, Colin Brown, and Johnny Benson. They're your top 5. Then Terry Cook, Travis Kvapil, Mike Skinner, Scott Speed, or Brian Scott and Scott Speed are your top 10.
Look at Johnny Benson. He's starting to look around, Phil. He needs to make something happen. He knows there's 10 points right there off his nose. If he can just grab them, that's the difference between leaving Texas second in the points. What do you do off turn 2?
Colin Brown got a little bit loose, and now that opened the door for the 23 of Benson. Here he goes. 5 more points for Johnny Benson, trying to take fourth away from Colin Brown.
He clears Colin Brown.
Get the 30 now. 4 to go. You can do it.
4 to go. Go get the 30. Go get the 30. We want to leave Texas with the point lead, Johnny.
He has it right now because those 5 bonus points put him back in front of Ron Hornaday.
He'd rather have 6 points than 1. I'll guarantee you that.
He'd rather have the win.
And you like to see Johnny Benson. He's driving with all of his heart right now. He's following the white line, running on the bottom of the racetrack. Wasn't getting anywhere. So he started sliding up the hill, trying a different line. Todd Bodine's running all over the track, trying to hold Johnny off.
Johnny Benson, as we come into the quad oval, will have just 3 laps to go. Can Hornaday hold on for 3 laps for another win here at this racetrack? Or will Kyle Busch be able to catch him? It is a big gap right now between first and second. 1.8 seconds separate Hornaday and Kyle Busch. Todd Bodine back in third, trying to hold off Johnny Benson. And Benson wants those 5 points more than anybody on the racetrack right now. Adam Alexander, what are we hearing from Johnny Benson?
It's not what we're hearing from him, Rick. It's what we're hearing from his spotter, Rocky Ryan. After he passed Colin Brown, Rocky came on the radio and said, 3 to go. He's a piece of cake, referring to the 30 right in front of him. Johnny Benson hoping to get around him and get 5 more points.
Look at Johnny Benson. Runs high up the racetrack. Tries a different line than Todd Bodine. Looks like it's working, Phil. Got some momentum off turn 2.
Got a little run going. Todd pulls down the block. Johnny's going to follow him this time. Lap and a half to go.
As this battle continues, Ron Hornaday crosses the start-finish line. White flag, 1 lap to go here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Johnny Benson will have to make a big run on the outside of 1 and 2 to see if he can do something with Todd Bodine.
Johnny Benson looking to the outside one more time. Todd Bodine on the bottom. Johnny Benson moving to the outside as they continue to battle down the backstretch.
Oh, Todd slid up the racetrack. It's going to open the door on the bottom for Johnny.
Johnny Benson makes his move to the bottom. Coming out of 4 across the start-finish line. Hornaday wins in Texas. That battle now decided. Johnny Benson in front of Todd Bodine. 5 more points for Johnny Benson. The difference is 6 here at Texas.
Great run by Ron Hornaday. That Pro Motor Engineering horsepower propelled that truck up to the front, beat that 51 truck of Kyle Busch.
And Kyle Busch was coming. He was all over Ron at the finish.
What an amazing run again for Ron Hornaday. This team is on a roll. They are so strong. The 6th win of 2008 for Ron Hornaday and Rick Wren. And let's hear from Rick Wren.
Well, and Ron Hornaday just came on the radio, guys, and said, this is about the hardest race I drove all season. I am worn out here. But Rick Wren, you guys did not give up on this. Down a lap, and you come back and you win this thing in very dominating fashion. How'd you do it?
Well, we knew we had a pretty good race truck, and I didn't worry about setting it up for qualifying. I set it up to run the race and hoping that I had guessed right. And, you know, I called him in, and, I mean, it took 18 gallons of gas when we come in. So, I mean, I still made the right call. It's just he got up on the wheel and drove really hard. I mean, truck was good. Pit stops were good. And I don't know what else to say about Hornaday. But I'm going to tell you what. I really want to thank the VFW because we put on an awesome show last week. We didn't get the trophy that they wanted us to get. But, you know, the veterans in this company, in this country, made this country what it is. And I just want to say hats off to all the VFW, all the vets, everybody that's helped us out. But I also want to wish everybody happy Halloween.
All right, thank you, Rick, and congratulations. Rick Wren gets his 21st victory as a crew chief. That moves him ahead of Randy Goss, second on the active crew chief list, right behind Dennis Conner.
Johnny Benson climbs out of his Toyota Tundra.
I bet you he'll say that's one of the hardest races he's driven all year, too. What a battle at the end, Johnny Benson prevailing over those guys.
A hard-fought battle in Texas Motor Speedway. Ron Hornaday's headed to victory lane, and we'll be there next. Welcome back. Ron Hornaday has made his way into victory lane with that number 33 Chevy Silverado. Let's go to Ray Dunlap.
And Kevin Harvick coming in to congratulate Ron Hornaday. He will climb out of this number 33. They've got VFW on the side of the truck, and a win in the spring here at Texas. He got that really cool trophy, and now he comes back. Oh, and a Craftsman toolbox to go with it. And Ron, you guys were a lap down tonight. I know you were a little concerned at one point, but then to get right back out there, race your way back into the lead lap and win another one at Texas. How's it feel?
First of all, I got to thank all the troops and everything, what they do for us, and VFW and Camping World, Chevrolet, everybody. Mark Smith, what an awesome job on the motors. And Rick Minton made a heck of a call and dropped that track bar. And I didn't think it was the right call, but it just got that swollen up in the air, and it really got me getting in before I was getting loose getting in. But, man, I think kissing Eddie here last time in victory lane with that cowboy hat, I wanted it really bad, and to come back here to win this. I heard Benson finished third, so no matter what I do, Benson's right there, so it's going to come down to the end of it. Now, this is what it's all about. Kyle and them guys ran me hard. Quapple, it's awesome to get a truck up there. This track, you just got it 3-4 wide, but congratulate little Tori on her report card, and everybody back at home. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ron, 6 points is the difference right now. The closest points battle we've ever had in this series. We got 2 races to go. Sum up Phoenix and Homestead and your chances of winning another title.
I'm pretty good at Phoenix, and Johnny's pretty good there too. And we're going to go down there. We're just going to see what happens. We're going to go out there and race as hard. And when Johnny and I were side by side, I didn't want to give him an opportunity to get loose and get into me, so I waited a couple laps to get by him and the 2 guys up there. But Rick Wren, Danny Stockman, all these guys in this VFW Chevrolet, and all these fans. I mean, this is awesome to see these fans here in Texas that come out here and all day long. I've been watching qualifying and come out here to see the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And I hate to see Craftsman leaving, but we got a good sponsor with Camping World coming next year. So this is pretty cool. 2 more races. We'll see.
All right, we're going to have fun watching it. A big smile on Hornaday's face. He brings the same truck back to Texas, and it's the same results. Now let's hear from the guy who's having a great run with him in the championship chase.
And Ray Hornaday was the point leader with 5 laps to go, and then Johnny Benson passed Colin Brown and Todd Bodine, so you regained the point lead. Take us through those final laps and the passes for position.
Well, it was tough. Those guys were just starting to slow down. We just leave it on the floor the whole day and just can't really stay up. But Trip Bruce and the guys, I mean, did a great job. It's just adjustments that we did were good. Everything was good, and it's just tough right now. You know, I mean, this style racetrack, we're probably a little too far off on the rule aspect of it. And I think next 2 weeks it'll be a little bit more even. Well, at least Phoenix it will be. I'm not sure about the last, but these guys do a tremendous job week in and week out, and it's just it was fun racing with Todd and them at the end. I mean, we were running high trying to get a run, and Todd was struggling a little bit off too, and that's why we were able to get a run on him. But got to thank Toyota Certified Used Vehicles, XI Batteries, Valvoline, Mentex Brakes, just everybody that makes it possible for us to go race.
How much were you moving around to make those passes, to find where the truck was best and where you could make the move on them?
Well, like you say, you just run flat on the floor all day and just kind of hang on. But you had to use a draft a little bit, and that's where I got Todd, is I ran high and just got a little bit of momentum off the corner. And same thing with the 6. He got tied up with Todd there just a little bit, so I was able to get a run on the 6. And the 30, I just had to. Just had to do something. I mean, I had to go high to try to sling across and use a little bit of draft, and it worked out.
Unofficially, Johnny Benson, 6 points in front of Ron Hornaday with 2 weeks to go. It's going to be fun, guys.
6 points, the point difference. A big smile on the owner of Ron Hornaday's truck, Kevin Harvick, talking with track president Eddie Gossage in victory lane once again. That was the same result we had earlier this year when Ron Hornaday was able to capture that first cowboy hat here at this racetrack. We'll be back for more from Texas after this.
The countdown has begun. 2 races left. 2 drivers in the hunt. The closest points battle in NASCAR continues next weekend in Phoenix. It all starts with the setup at 7:30 live on Speed.
Not only the closest battle in NASCAR, but the closest battle in the Truck Series history. With 2 races remaining, just 6 points separate Johnny Benson and Ron Hornaday. Adam Alexander's caught up with Kyle Busch.
Runner-up finish for Kyle Busch tonight, and it appeared that Hornaday was just as solid as a rock. Was that the case?
Yeah, he is every week. The Harvick bunch has got something figured out like we do on the nationwide side, but still there's some straightaway speed there too that we're hurting on. So
unfortunate there with the way the rules are, but I got to thank these guys. I mean, for as much adversity and everything they've gone through this week, and Billy for sticking in with us. He was in tears the other night, you know, and this just means so much to finish second, but we wish we could have got a win for him. And this is the best handling truck and best driving truck I've ever had at Texas. So if it comes up that much short to Ron Hornaday and those guys on that bunch, then that's all we had for them. We waxed everybody else tonight, but wasn't able to hang with them.
This team really battled back from adversity. Another top 5 finish for Kyle Busch.
And Adam, a year ago, Mike Skinner was ahead of Ron Hornaday by 57 points in a much closer battle now. Kevin Harvick, a big smile on your face tonight down here in Victory Lane, but you get to go racing next week. You'll be in Phoenix racing that 2 truck. How are you going to handle being owner and rooting for your buddy at the same time?
Well, you know, we're just going to treat it as we would any other race and go race as hard as we can. And you know, I know these guys will be really good. Just really proud of this whole 33 team and the 2 team. They've done such a great job all year, and to have VFW on the truck to finally break that streak of second-place finishes is pretty cool for everything that our veterans do for our country and our troops do for us right now.
This is a pretty sporty look, you know, all in black. That might be your new thing.
Yeah, I don't. That little guy in the cowboy hat off of Buzz Lightyear, I figured I'd dress up as him tonight because I know I don't look very good in a cowboy hat, but you always look good in Victory Lane.
Well, we need you in a costume. Congratulations. That's Kevin Harvick, the winning owner for the number 33. And now let's go back to Glinda, the Good Witch.
13th top 5 of the year for Todd Bodine, but it got a little dicey there at the end. What all were you guys fighting coming to the checkered flag?
You know, we were tight, and at the very end, the 15 ran through the grass and covered my grill with grass, so both the oil and water temperatures were just pegged. So it was great for the Tundra just to keep running. Everybody, Lumber Liquidators crew did a great job on our pit stops. That's what kept us up there. After we got the lap down, got the lucky dog, you know, we weren't really good, really tight. And that last stop, Junior swung for the fence and made some serious air pressure adjustments and got the truck the best it was all night. And, you know, we got out of here with a 4th and could have been 3rd, but we got, you know, gained some points and pulled away a little bit. So it was a good night, but, you know, they got to look at these rules. I mean, this is ridiculous, the handicap that these Tundras are under and the restrictor plate deal. It's totally ridiculous.
Todd Bodine, a 4-time winner at Texas. He finishes 4th this evening.
Well, I want to take a look at tonight's Stay in the Game with Just for Men hair color moment. And again, Just for Men hair color moment. Ray Dunlap and Adam Alexander, both as ladies. No, that's not our Just for Men Stay in the Game moment. Take a look at this. Ron Hornaday powering by that 09 of Travis Kvapil.
Travis is leading the race, and Hornaday drove around him like he was a lap truck.
Ron Hornaday staying in the game tonight. And staying in the game with Just for Men hair color. Ron Hornaday staying in the game of our points championship, now trailing Johnny Benson by 6.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Craftsman. Craftsman tools are the official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears.
On a Halloween night in Texas Motor Speedway under the lights, it was all treats for Ron Hornaday. He was able to get his lap back and win at Texas. They continue to celebrate in Victory Lane. Let's take a look at our unofficial results. Ron Hornaday, 6 wins in 2008.
Hey, guys, the top 3 finishers, identical to June here. Top 3 finishers.
You see Scott Speed rounds out our top 10. He wanted to be a loofah for Halloween.
Rick Crawford started on the pole, got involved in our first incident.
Donnie Leah did a burnout on pit road to avoid the wall. Comes back with a top 15 finish. Good job of him. Paul Tracy, he had a shaky start, but he got that thing wound out at the end. Was running really good lap times, top 20.
Again, early on in this race, we had issues. Cale Gale struggling to begin this race on actually lap 2. The first caution came out. We see the final standings here. Again, unofficial results for this Chevy Silverado 350K.
John Wood and TJ Bell also involved in that first lap incident.
Kevin Harvick, Delana Harvick, owners of Kevin Harvick Incorporated, with Ron Hornaday in Victory Lane again, 2008. We'll be right back.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
And again, welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. We want to obviously thank a lot of people for allowing us to have fun. That's our producer, Keith D'Alessandro, right there is the flying monkey. Glenda the Good Witch. We had some fun up here in the booth. We want to thank Dave Lee, Frank Wilson, and Steve Craddock, some of our bosses, obviously, at Speed for allowing us to have the fun. And obviously, we have a good time in this series, not only with, obviously, the great racing, but the camaraderie that we have.
Sure do. And those guys are having a pretty good time right now, too. Rick Wren, Kevin Harvick, Ron Hornaday, that entire KHI team is having a great time.
And, you know, we talk about all the action. Check us out.
Well, you got to have fun. When there's a holiday on the same day as a race, we have a good time.
I like to get dressed up like that.
You had a heart. I did. I was given a heart.
And I didn't have courage.
You had courage, though. You got a badge of courage.
Yeah, Phil didn't have he didn't have any brains at all. He thought A.J. Foyt was in the
Actually, that fit well for you. I'm just kidding.
Thank you very much.
Actually, let's look forward. I mean, we've got 2 races to go. Phoenix coming up in a week.
You got to give Johnny Benson the edge at Phoenix. Let's do that. And then let's give Hornaday the edge out at Miami.
I can't give Benson the edge at Phoenix.
Why?
I can't do it. Because Ron Hornaday's one out there, too. Ron Hornaday's great at Phoenix.
But we were on a flat track a couple weeks ago at Martinsville. Johnny Benson dominated. He drove around those guys and ran off and leave them. I think Johnny Benson extends his point lead at Phoenix, and I think Ron Hornaday comes back and makes it really fun at Miami.
I'll be there and I'm going to watch.
I can't wait to
I think Johnny Benson needs to send Colin Brown a thank you card. I think he got him 5 more points and was able to stay out in front. Actually, Adam Alexander is with Colin Brown right now. Maybe he'll ask him.
Colin Brown started 9th, finished 5th tonight, your 3rd top 5 finish of the year, and that's solid for you guys.
Well, it was a great run for everybody on the number 6 Conway Freight Ford F-150 truck, and I want to thank all the guys at the body shop. They've been working really hard this year. This one's at least in one piece, but it was a lot of fun to race with those veteran guys. You can learn so much from those guys. It was just an awesome opportunity.
Colin hopes to be a part of the championship chase next year. A good start to gain some momentum this evening.
Very smooth with his Coca-Cola, wasn't he? Got him a couple of chugs in there.
He did a fine job. Again, it will be under the lights for our next race when we move off to that flat mile racetrack at Phoenix.
Yeah, remember, winning truck owner Kevin Harvick will be in the field, a 2-time winner at Phoenix.
Do you think there'll be any team rules there?
Well, you saw him at Martinsville. He was running around behind Johnny and Ron like he was a sheriff, making sure those two didn't get out of line. Look for a lot of the same stuff at Phoenix. It'll be fun to watch.
6 points separate 2 guys with 2 races to go.
Too close to call.
Now, are there only 2 left in this points championship?
Well, I said that a few weeks ago.
Well, we had 4 at one point in time.
And I don't have a brain, and I said that.
It's official. What's that say for me?
Oh, boy. Under the lights, under the moonlight, right here at Texas Motor Speedway. Coming up next, trackside. From right here at Texas Motor Speedway. On board will be Jeff Burton and David Starr. Thanks for allowing us to have fun. We always appreciate you joining us here on Speed for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Ron Hornaday, victorious once again in 2008.